Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday night. And Friday night means InterSim Esports Network right here for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series. Tonight we go Pocono, we go Tricky Triangle. There's no more 1, 2, 3, 4 turns here. There is 3 distinct corners tonight for 100 laps. Looking forward to this one as we are round 4 of the Full Throttle Friday Night and Next Gen Cup Series. Join me in the booth, as always, is Paul Jackson, and our special guest has joined us again tonight, Peter Gretton. How are you, gentlemen, tonight? Friday night NASCAR racing again. How good is this?
Yeah, pretty good, Aidan. And yeah, once again, welcome to Peter back again in the booth. So how you going, Peter?
I'm going good, Paul, and yourself, Aidan, and all the viewers as well. Welcome tonight. There's Pocono, and I like the call, Aidan. Tricky Triangle. I haven't heard it called that before, but like you said in your intro, that there's not 4 corners. There's only 3, so it's going to be it's going to be good to watch here tonight, and I'll be educated.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an interesting night of racing. I love the Tricky Triangle, as we call Pocono Raceway. But as you see on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, a few race notes before we go green flag racing tonight and get into qualifying. 100 laps around Pocono Raceway tonight. We do have a 75% fuel capacity. They've got 2 sets of tyres there, including the ones they start on over the wall. 1 fast repair for all the drivers. There will be 1 green right checker if that is needed tonight as well. There's ourselves broadcasting this tonight. It is a 2.5 mile or 4.02 kilometre track. and they will be taking the green flag at approximately 10 to 3 in the afternoon. So currently we see Daniel Smith on top with a 53.33, Jason Holdsworth back there with a 53.61. So Daniel Smith with 0.3 of a second over the field at the moment with 2 minutes left in practice, guys. So quite a fair chunk there at the moment, which is surprising around here. But everyone else around there are around about the 7s. So great lap there by Daniel so far.
Yeah, very good lap from Daniel with a 53.33. So all the threes in his lap time, and that was his last and his best. So he threw that out there straight up and done it, and was riding on board with Michael Shaw at the moment. But, there's an empty track at the moment. They're most in pit, but I suppose it's only practice. We still got well, about a minute to go, but it's. Look at that, Brett Campbell, 015 he's not doing too bad, but he's probably want to improve on his time in qualifying. But he's down there. He hadn't set a time yet, I don't think, has he?
Looks like his best so far is a 54.47, so a little bit off the pace there for Brett Campbell. So currently Daniel Smith again still holds the top with a 53.33. That was his last and his best, so he just went quicker again, as opposed to Jason Holdsworth there back with a 53.61. Michael Budge in third place, 53.7. Tom Pritchard and Sam Katakouzanos both there with 53.74s. Phelpsy, Ruben Phelps out of New Zealand, 53.77. Followed back there in 7th place at the moment, his fellow New Zealander Norman Clark there with a 53.80. So apart from the 53.33 at the front, it's really tight going from the second to the minor place.
And just before we jump into qualifying, as practice is about to finish, we'll quickly run through the standings as we are here in round 4. So 3 rounds down and gone is our unofficial standings currently.
Yeah, and we've got Daniel Beckinsale currently at the top there, Paul, with 102 points. Dean Guilfoyle, 99 points there in second. Jason Holdsworth, 98. Andy Barber there with 93, followed by Dave Oliver with 88, and Norman Clark in 6th place on 82 as they go on, mate. So very close at the front. Daniel's had a good couple of rounds to start with, and he's currently sitting around about the 6th or 7th place as he came out of practice, but now we're going into qualifying. So let's see how they go, boys.
It's close, actually. As the championship standings just scroll through, you can notice right through that championship standings has been close. There's 3 or 4 or 5 cars like within a couple of points too. So that's going to show out on track tonight, I think, Aiden, as it always does. It's going to be all close there. Yeah, to be honest, PJ, just I hate when that happens.
And also, good, sorry guys, also good to see, as we're on board with at the moment, watching Brad Allison go around. A bit of a shout out to Brad from everyone here at the InterSim Esports Network. He's been through a tough time lately, and good to see him back out racing, iRacing. He's had some good showings in the last couple of days. So he's back here on a Friday night in the next gen car and doing well. So good to see him back out there.
Yeah, definitely. We've been missing Brad Allison on the track, so definitely good to see him back out there tonight. And hope he's doing well.
Well, currently we're just waiting for the live time and catch up. We're a minute 52 into qualifying. My live timing is not catching up on me at the moment, who is actually at the front, so I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, but at the moment we are on board with that. Looks like Adam Malone in the monster car, I believe. But Brad Allison's just gone to the top with a 54.01. Darragh McKenzie's just jumped in with a 53.96. Now it's all starting to get live. I thought I was missing something, but they've just left their runs a little bit later than I thought, guys. So here I was jumping the gun again. So jump in and get amongst it before we get to the end of qualifying.
Yeah, it's definitely get heating up as the qualifying gets on. There's 2.5 minutes out of 5 minutes, so not a lot of time they give them in this league. And you know what? I like it. Get out there, get on track, give it your best straight out there. And Mackenzie 53.062, but not a lot of time lost. There's like 2/10 between the top five, so that's good to see tonight, and it's really going to show when we get on track and do some racing.
Yeah, well, Peter, and the thing is, what I'm seeing here with these lack of times at the moment, even though there's only minute 45 left or abouts, that second corner, you can sometimes just clip the outside wall and exit there, and that can give you that 0x, which will invalidate your lap. So at the moment, we're only seeing about half of the field that have set a validated lap time. So I know in this series, I believe you do need to qualify. It could be corrected at a later stage, but yeah, now it's only getting up to 3/4. So interesting to see whether in the next minute and a half, whether everyone's going to be able to lay down that lap time or there's been a couple of errors made.
It's going to be interesting to see as well, because I'm not too sure around here, being the tricky triangle, as you called it, Aiden, but like super speedway racing, some people don't even want to put down a qualifying time. They just much rather start out a pit. So I'm not too sure if anyone wants to do it around here. I'm learning as we go into the last minute, but I don't know. Maybe is that a strategy, Aiden, starting from pit lane?
I don't think so, Peter, to be honest. Not Pocono. It's not a track to probably start from pit lane. I wouldn't suggest so. Especially not, it depends on the size of the field. Pretty decent field drivers here tonight, but not overly massive field, 25 odd drivers tonight. So, yeah, Pocono, I reckon track position is definitely key. It's very hard to pass, especially as the tyre wear goes off. But hey, I could be made out to be a complete liar tonight. We've got Sammy K there at the moment, which is in this session, hasn't even set a lap. So it looks like he'll be starting from the back. So if he ends up winning this one tonight, I'll be told to rethink my thoughts on how to race Pocono. But I'd much rather be at the front, mate.
Yeah, I'd much rather be where I am right now, Aiden, sitting in my uncomfortable rig. But Sammy K, probably one of the best drivers that I've met on here. But we got the grid up on screen, Aiden.
Yep. So leading us away for the fourth round of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series here on the InSim Esports Network is Adam Malone on the inside of the front row, Norman Clark from New Zealand on the outside of that front row out of P2. On the second row is Jeffrey Ford and Daniel Beckinsale. Row 3 is Daniel Smith and Darren McKenzie. Row 4, Brad Allison and Dean Guilfoyle. 5, Ruben Phelps, Reese Belitho. 6, Tom Pritchard and Demetrius Agathos, Peter.
To go to the page, we got Michael Budge and Tristan Koch starting in front of Campbell and Shaw. Then we got Mr. Sammy K, we just mentioned, number 96814 Bushlink Racing, and he'll start alongside Dave, Oliver, Hodsworth, Patton, Hoppett, Barber, and Spencer will round out the field.
And what a quality field we do have here, gents, on the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series Round 4 here from Pocono. A good bunch of drivers around here. I'm looking forward to this one tonight, mate. Cannot wait to get amongst it, but Adam Malone will bring us to the green flag.
Yeah, you know what? And you did mention that there's a good bunch of drivers in here, and they're fast, but they're better blokes too. So they're as good as blokes off field as they are on field or track, you might as well say. But have a look at that field right there, and it's good to see that iRacing allows this sort of setup, as all the cars will start on a 45-degree angle under a pace car, and they'll go for their formation. But qualifying's done. 100 laps here at Pocono. I'm learning, and what I don't need to learn is that these guys can race, and it's going to be quite something to watch, and plenty of time to learn. Hey, Aiden, it's going to be a good race.
Yeah, definitely, and we need to, well, we have the time before the drivers get all settled in as they're about to move their way out down pit lane at the moment. Big shout out to the Cube Retro Radio for sponsoring this league as well, so jump on all their socials and everything, and Google and support them because they're supporting us in the iRacing community, and more so the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series that we broadcast to you here on the InterSim Esports Network. But Peter and Paul, they're pulling out of pit lane now, 1 to green, 100 laps around Pocono. Any favourites before we go green? We always do it. Why do we need to stop now? So each of us, we get one favourite each, and who's going to take away the 100 laps at Pocono?
Throw that over to Paul because I need time to think.
Oh, yeah, you just want to pick a favourite now, don't you? Got to do your research here. But tonight, I think I'm going to have to go with the pick of Daniel Smith. I think he's the championship leader currently. And he was showing pretty good pace in practice there as well. Was sitting up the top there. So, going to have to go with Daniel Smith tonight.
Well, I'll have to counteract yours, Paul, because I'm going to go Daniel Beckinsale because he's the one leading the championship. So I'm going to go him.
Yeah, I had a feeling I was wrong there. So,
but they're both Daniels, so we're the battle of the Daniels. So now, Pete, we're about to go green. So quickly get that one in before we go green as Adam Malone brings us there.
Yeah, it's going to be good to go green. Darren McKenzie, straight out of it, he's going to win it.
Okay, guys, and we are green. We're about to go green, and we are green for round 4 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series here on the InterSim Esports Network, and Adam Malone brings us to the green flag here at Pocono Raceway. Jeffrey Ford, Norman Clark, Daniel Beckinsale, Daniel Smith, and Darren McKenzie. It is definitely the battle of the Darrens and Daniels at the moment at the front, so that's a bit of a tongue tie there, but Adam Malone leads us away with Jeffrey Ford in the 82 in second place as we make their way down into turn 2 here at Pocono Raceway for 100 laps.
100 laps of fun, that's what that's going to be, and you can already see in the opening stages of the race that these guys, they've already sorted out that one lines to go around here, and you just want to see it out. 100 laps. They're only doing short lap times here. Oh, look at this. Oh, is he down the inside? So he wants to get the position done. And excuse me, I don't know who that is. 929, I think.
The 09 I know of Norman Clark we're just on board with there as they were going too wide down the main straight. But Norman Clark currently down 2 positions off his starting position back in 4th. So Ruben Phelps actually up 3 positions on his 9th starting position in P6 there too. So he's doing a good job off the start there. So the New Zealand natives, as they call them, the Kiwis, they are making their way forward at the moment. We've currently got Norman Clark in 4th, Ruben Phelps in 6th. So they are moving forward quickly. So keep an eye out for those as the race does move forward. But Adam Malone currently setting quickest lap times of the race as he leads away this pack at Pocono. Jeffrey Ford there is doing a great job as well. He's about nearly 4 tenths down on Adam last lap, and probably another tenth this lap. But they're slowly dragging up on the back of Adam at the moment there, Peter. But I can talk about this all night because I love Pocono and I love oval racing. So I can't wait to see how this goes on as these tyres wear off.
Yeah, well, it's going to be good. And you did mention when we were talking off air, Aidan, that it's all going to be about tyre wear and who can manage the tyres the best. And I dare say there's going to be a pit stop or two. But have a look at this. They've all settled out. But you know what? There's only about half a car length in it, except for the leader. He's out in front. He doesn't need a bump draft. That's Adam Malone, number 4. But the rest of them, they're fairly close. They're generally sticking to most of the lap single file. But Aidan, how many laps before you start to see some tyre deg?
Peter, very good question. I'd suggest probably around 10 to 15 laps. You're probably going to start to see. You'll probably actually only 4 laps in these guys on the outside line. They're not going to probably push too hard, but they'll have that less input, so they'll just try and sit around there, and then when they need to go, they'll go. So, but 10 to 15 laps, I'd suggest, is where you're going to see a real difference, and who's fought too hard too early. We've seen Ruben Phelps, who's currently up 5 positions in my team, as I always say. He's had a really great start, but in saying that, he's pushed the car pretty hard early, and I know it's only 4 or 5 laps in, but he's got his track position. Let's see whether the car can keep going as he's trying to make his move there, I believe, up into the 4th position. So, yeah, it's a lot to play out, guys. We're only 5 laps into 100, but there's so much to talk about, and how the stories play out in these 100 laps is going to be fascinating to see.
Yeah, definitely. We're not going to miss a trick here with all the cameras with PJ. He's not only in the comms box with us tonight, he's he's behind the cameras, but he got a good shot of there of bit of foolery, everyone side by side there. But have a look at this as we see him move. Possibly. No, there's just different lines, I think. It looks like there's moves there, Aiden, but I think it's just the lines, but not much happening. But a little battle, Smith and Clark earlier, but we're riding on board with the rear of field, or the end of pack, but there's no entertainment lost.
Yeah, on board there with Brett Campbell and the 015 car at the moment, fighting for 16th, 17th, 18th. Matt Payton, Sam Katakouzanos, Michael Shaw are a part of that battle as well, just in front, I can tell by that livery. So a good little battle here for the minor placings at the moment. But don't be surprised if these guys don't make a play into the back end of the race. Like I said, we're only 6 laps in. This is a tyre deck track. It's a momentum track, and you can't light up those rears, especially out of 2 there, as you saw them come out of there. So, yeah, they could come back into fruition of this race, or if that is even a word. As I always say, I make up random words here on the IndySim Esports Network, but that's what I'm about. But anyone can be a part of this one tonight, guys, so I'm interested to see how this plays out. Currently, Adam Malone, 54.1 is his best. His last lap was a 54.4. Ruben Phelps, actually, his last lap was 0.2 quicker than Adam's there, as we see a little bit of interesting action right in behind there at the moment. But Peter, it's starting to heat up. I thought it was settling down as I was starting to roll through the positions there, and it's heating up now.
It definitely is heating up as we see the car 82 of Ford. He seems to be dropping back there, so I'm not too sure what's happened there. If PJ, he's been looking probably more than we. He might be able to fill us in, but you have a look, the car 09 of Clark is winding him in. He's just going to get him here, but I'm not too sure there. PJ, if you can chime in, mate, what do you think's happened as the car number 82 of Ford, has he got any damage? He looks like he's falling through the field.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any damage, but he's been running a bit of a higher line a few times in the early laps, so not sure if he just heated up those tyres a little bit more and was losing out on that high line as he couldn't get his car turned down to low line. Yeah, it could be the case there, but he's bringing this second pack, has caught back up onto the back of Jeffrey and Norman Clark there. So the front 4 guys have broken away, and we've got a couple of little packs going now. I think we've got 3 packs going on track.
And as you say that, Paul, I've just realised Ruben Phelps has taken lead of this motor race as we are 8 laps into 100 here at Pocono Raceway.
If there's a guy to win it or deserves to win it, it's Ruben Phelps, but we can't say he's won it yet because what are we, only a couple of laps in, but as we go to a replay here.
And we see Ruben just setting up Adam Malone there into 1 here at Pocono Raceway, dives it straight into the apex. Adam tries to hang it on the outside, goes, I don't have anything. Ruben covers him off, and Ruben, from his starting position in around about the 9th position, now takes the lead of the race.
Easy as you do it too, and lap 9 of 100, and you wouldn't expect any less from these guys, as they're just going to circulate around. They know. Just
And-
stay straight. And you know what? No cautions here yet.
And as quick as I just said that, Pete, that Ruben took the lead of the motor race. Adam Malone's got it back straight off him, as you see, as they go down the main straight at Pocono Raceway. So we only just got over talking. Ruben Phelps taking the lead of the race, and Adam said, "No way, I want to lead from the front." So Adam Malone has taken the lead of this race as we are lap 10 of 100 here at Pocono Raceway on the InterSim Esports Network.
Here we got Malone, Phelps, Mackenzie, Smith, Clark, Ford, Allison, Bolitho, Pritchard, Agathis. That's your top 10, but we're riding on board with this top 4 here, and we don't know who's leading. Malone, Phelps, they've got a good battle, but also Mackenzie and Smith, they're right there. It's all about just sticking with the guy in front of you, having a look. It's only 10 out of 100, as you just mentioned there, Aiden, plenty of times. And Aiden, you've set it all up, so, or you're a part, or no more than I do. With the pit stops, when would you be making your first if you're part of this call?
It's going to depend. These 4 are going to want to work together at the moment. They've currently got about 2.5 seconds on the second group behind them, so they're probably going to, only 11 into 100, want to work with each other and not fight too much, and try and save that fuel to maybe just, even if you can just get 1 lap extra, that's definitely going to help you, because track position's going to be key. But you, at the same time too, you want to shorten the amount of time you are stationary, but they are going to take tyres, so it's going to cover it off. So mate, short answer to your question, probably I'd suggest anywhere from the 28 to 35 laps maybe. I think it's going to be a 2-stopper, and because they are on 75% fuel, so that's what I think at the moment. But we were about to find out. We didn't do any of that investigation earlier, so I do apologise for that. But the guys at the front have still maintained that 2-second gap on the gap behind. But I definitely do think it's going to be a 2-stopper.
So 2 stoppers to words. We ride on board with this mid-pack. I think that's Bolitho and Allison having a little bit of a duel here. But oh, look at him down the inside, I think. Oh no, look, did he get out of that? He checked out of it, and the green car behind, I'm not too sure who that is, but he's under pressure now. That's Bolitho.
Yeah, Reese Bolitho, Jeffrey Ford, Tom Pritchard, all part of the battle pack at the moment. Jeffrey Ford, you were mentioning earlier in the broadcast, gents, that he was moving backwards. He seemed like he settled down there a little bit after he moved those positions backwards, and he's currently sitting there in P8, so he's stabilised a little bit, but he's definitely put himself back amongst it at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. As we go a little bit further from these guys down to Budge, Beckinsale, Golifu, and Semi K, they have a look at that. That battle's heating up nicely as PJ just, look at that, changes. He's onto it, eh? And that's what it's all about here for the InterSim network. But this mid back here is Agathis and Ford are still battling on. But lap 13 of 100, we've still got about 87 laps, or not even about. It's as you see, who's that? Car number 8, so that's Budge on Ford. And the car number 82 is left high and dry there. He's going to lose another one there, Aiden.
Yeah, it looks like that inside line seems to be really tightening up at the moment. So we did see there Michael Budge make the move as well. I'm not sure if I read that one wrong, but I was just looking at timing as I was trying to catch up on the screen, so I do apologise. But we are on board there with the number 8 of Michael Budge. He does have Jeffrey Ford around the outside trying to get that run down the back straight before they go into turn 2, as we see here at Pocono Raceway. But Adam Malone still at the front, showing clean set of heels. Ruben Phelps in P2, Darren McKenzie P3, and Daniel Smith in P4. They've now moved that margin out at the front to just over 2.8 seconds there, Peter and Paul. So Ruben doing a great job. He did make a move for the race lead early, and he did take that. Adam Malone come back and he said, no, thank you, Ruben. But since then, they've played polite gentlemen, and they are working together and making a gap on the second group behind us. They go into turn 1 here at Pocono Raceway, and it's just getting out to 3 seconds now, Peter. So they're working very well together here at the front.
Yeah, definitely. Phelps, my choice of the night. He's doing really well. The 06 car, he's in second. And the Toyota Camry might I add, but he's behind Malone and Mackenzie's behind him. And PJ, if you unmute your mic, mate. I'd just like to say that was it Beckinsale's back in 12th and Phelps in second. So I think was it Aiden's or your choice was Beckinsale?
That was mine, but I can't go for my teammate because I need to be impartial on a broadcast. So, but I must say my is in second. But no,
caution!
As we go into caution. So see, there's the Aiden curse again. As Aiden
What happened
talks,
there?
caution comes out.
I need to jump in here because I'm pretty sure you picked Darren McKenzie at the start there, Pete, and you're trying to change it to Ruben there. So there's no change in midway.
That's a good little pick out there, Paul. Well done, mate.
But the other thing is my pick's right behind you, so we're doing something right. Aiden's on a off pick here, but let's go and just jump back and see what brought that caution out, and we can come back to our picks and that in a minute.
Most definitely, Paul, save us. Let's go.
Back to the viewers. Back to an instant replay. Have a look at that stolen. Oh,
that's Matt Payton up into the wall by the looks of that.
That wasn't too bad. It was a bit dramatic at the end, but I don't know, Aiden. That's racing, isn't it? Here at Oval Racing, it's a little bit of rubbing, I think, but I don't think it's too bad. But that's my opinion.
It's one of those incidents at the end of the day, Pocono, that probably shouldn't happen. But yeah, it looks like the car on the inside there, as I look back at it as it's going live on Facebook, definitely got in a little bit hot and got up the inside of Matt. So, yeah, it's one of those racing ovals. They are running at 300 kilometres an hour side by side as we see Ruben Phelps duck down into pit lane. A couple of people are following him, but some have decided to stay out. But that's oval racing, Pete. That's the way that it happens, and sometimes you're on the green end of the stick, sometimes you're not. So they'll get back out there and they'll go. There is one fast repair tonight too, so that is definitely not their race over. But we are 17 laps into 100 here for the Full Throttle Friday night Next Gen Cup Series right here on the Intersim Esports Network and the Cube Retro Radio supporting the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. And we've got a big spin in pits there as every time I'm trying to plug in everything I do, something happens. But we had someone go around in pits. So, Pete, help the viewers catch up to what happened there.
Oh, it's a snicker, actually. I have no idea what happened. I had to snicker. I had to cover my mouth because I actually snickered. When it happened, I thought that was quite hilarious. I'm sure he won't think so. I'm not too sure, Aiden, who that was, but all I've seen is, oh, here we go. PJ is behind the cameras. Here we go. It was the green car. Keep it. I remember the colour of the green car. Just have a look. He's rewinding.
Yeah, it happened before he got in. Yeah, here it is.
Oh, there we go. The 08 car. Here we go. Oh, look at this. It's probably a bit embarrassing.
Reese Politho, he got a little bit loud on the gas pedal.
Oh, greedy. He wanted to win it out of pit lane, but hey, have a look at that. That's good for the cameras, and good on him.
Celebrating a little bit too early there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, about 80 laps, 90 laps.
He lives to fight another day, mate. He lives to fight another day, so he'll be happy with that one. But Adam Malone currently still there, as you see on screen, ladies and gentlemen, in the Monster Energy number 4 car at the moment is leading the way. Darren McKenzie in his usual Ford livery there in P2. Ruben Phelps out of New Zealand in P3 in the 06 Aussie eSports car. Daniel Smith, P4. Demetrius Agathos having a great run tonight, up 7 positions off his starting position in P5. Norman Clark, a fellow New Zealander as well, in P6 of Ruben Phelps. Brad Allison, good to see him back again tonight, guys, and he's having a great job up there at the moment. Nice solid P7. Jeffrey Ford consolidating, still there in 8th. Michael Budge 9th, and Sam Katakuznos after starting P17 is P10 at the moment as we're 18 laps into 100, guys, and about to go green.
Yeah, lights are out on that pace car, and the guys line up. It looks like it's a double file restart as well, Aiden. So that's something new. I'm not too sure if it's just me not knowing, or I think other leagues do single file, but double file going to be good.
Double file is always for ovals, so yep, definitely double file. So the initial start of the race was on green. But now the field is in the hands of Adam Malone as soon as that pace car makes its way off the racetrack. So Adam Malone will bring us to green here as we will go 19 laps into 100 here at Pocono Raceway for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series here on the InterSim Esports Network. It is round 4, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Adam Malone will bring us to green. So Peter, mate, currently our picks are going all right. Some aren't, but they're all on the lead lap. It's been a great race so far. They do go through turn 3. We're about to go green.
Yeah, definitely that pace car's going to pull off, and Malone's going to have control of the field. Let's let Aiden take it away, but the pace car's going to move off. I think Phelpsy and Mackenzie, they're all going to work in this top 4, but have a look at this.
Yeah, and we are green here for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series after we had our first yellow flag. So we are green for the second time here. Adam Malone brings us away. Ruben Phelps making a really solid move up the inside of Darren McKenzie there into 1 here at Pocono. Is he going to be able to clear Darren on exit? Doesn't look like that. Darren's got a great run out of 1, but Ruben has his car on the inside? No, he says the better, and he just tucks up in behind Darren and tries to follow him up on the back of Adam Malone. Looks like Daniel Smith is really racing there on the inside of Ruben Phelps as well. Right through the tricky triangle, as we call it there, up the inside of Ruben. Ruben's held fast on the outside. Now it looks like Demetrius Agathos and Brad Allison want to come join the party as well. So it's a battle definitely here for the minor placings, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. The boys aren't happy to follow at the moment, but that's definitely helping Adam Malone and Darren McKenzie get away at the front.
Yeah, the front guys are doing good, and there's the battles. There's only one battle going on at the moment, and that's for the whole field, and that's how close they are after the restart, and it's been very clean. We've only seen one yellow, and that was a minor mistake, but as you see, side-by-side action all the way through the field. But as you said, Aiden, Malone, Mackenzie, Phelps, they're your top 3. They're the guys really doing it. But it's the mid and the rear field. Have a look at that. That's how close they are. We've seen them pull into single file early, and it's not happening as of yet, as we almost see some 3 wide action. Here we go, 3 wide.
And we definitely go 3 wide into 3 here at Pocono Raceway. It looks like the 968 there is Sam Katakouzanos on the inside there of Reese Belitho. Jeffrey Ford's a part of that as well. Great driving by all drivers there. The 008 there, Reese Belitho, has cleared Sam Katakouzanos. So great calling there, Peter, and to be able to see that battle happening. But earlier on, about 2-3 laps ago, I did say Adam Malone and Darren McKenzie didn't make that break at the front, but Ruben Phelps and Daniel Smith, when they were fighting for that 3rd through 8th position earlier, just a couple of laps ago, they pulled right up on the back of the leaders, Adam Malone and Darren McKenzie at the moment. Looks like they've got a little gap over the rest of the field, but we've got to keep going back and having a look, because there are battles right across the track at the moment, Peter, here at Pocono Raceway.
Oh, plenty of battles going on, and you've got to share the love too. And like I say in my broadcast over on the LR Esports Network, is that it doesn't matter you're battling for 1st or 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th or 10th or 99th or 100th, but right here in the mid-pack here, look at it. They're having fun, and that's the main aim of the game. You've got 2x2, or most of the field is single file, but these guys are having fun, especially in this mid-pack. That's where the battles are, and that's where they're going to continue to be. I think, Aiden, we're right on board right now, I think, with the car number 15, Campbell, and he doesn't want to blink because these guys want to they want to catch him snoozing.
Yeah, it's a hot battle pack here from mid-pack down at the moment. As we see Brad Allison.
Number 3.
Brad Allison had a big moment out of... as he gets collected too. I'll be interested to see who that was. Bradley Allison having a big moment there out of one, I believe, here at Pocono Raceway for the Full Throttle Friday Next Gen Series. Brad Allison, what a crash that was, guys. We're going to have to hopefully get a hold of Brad Allison, but we'll go back to the incident replay.
Slow it down so we can decipher this. Oh, I mean, Aiden decipher it.
We'll have to go back. I was too busy getting my words out just in excitement. Not that Brad crashed, but it looks like someone got up into him through turn 2 there. It wasn't through turn 1 and made him a little bit loose on exit. And then he came down and, yeah, it was just one of those moments. It looks like someone's in the background there getting loose as well. Can see that happening in front of him. There's a car low there, diverting low. Matt Payton there, who we saw in an incident earlier, into another incident. So
that all 4 off the ground.
The 587 car there, and Matt Payton, that's not going to be good for his night after possibly using his fast repair early. So there's going to be a lot of movers and shakers through this caution period, guys.
Yeah, well, and I just kept talking over you while you were trying to explain it, but that was awesome, PJ. Good replay on that one and slowed it all down. I think I yelled that through everyone's ear, slow it down, but no, that was, I've seen that happening. There's a lot of excitement. That was, they just went around and it just all happened. But what I'd like to see, PJ, while we're under caution, if we can go back, the lights are still on. At the start of that, the car control before he actually lost it, and we're still under yellow. I think at the start of it is the car control before he actually made contact was second to none. I think Aiden, he held it off. He didn't want to hit the guy, I think on his right. I think that was Bolito, but he held his control, the control of the car as we go back now from PJ.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the stewards will take politely to what possibly happened on there with the car on the inside of Brad. I'm not sure how they'll adjudicate that one, but it is great car control there by the 03 pilot. So keeps it off the outside wall, but unfortunately that is what makes him go low. The car on the behind him there couldn't get out of the throttle. Looks like he tried to miss him and he did, and Brad's just holding on for dear life and trying to keep it out everyone's way. And then unfortunately Matt Payton was one to get caught up in that as well. But big incident here, rather, gentlemen, for lap 24 of 100 at Pocono Raceway. But Norman Clark's now taken the lead of this motor race with Brett Campbell there in second place, up 13 positions on his starting position. Yeah,
definitely. And, you know, me and Aiden, or Aiden and myself, we don't like to give Mr. PJ, our director, and a big head, or bigger than what he's got. But I tell you, we've got to hear Aiden. That was awesome to decipher that incident, and everyone viewing and us, we really did. You explained it well with the pictures you had showing, Aiden. But yeah, you've got a guest.
Yeah, definitely, and that was an interesting yellow there. But I did bring a guest up, and I hope he doesn't mind. Ruben Phelps, Dunedin, New Zealand, Aussie esports mate, currently in P3, up 6 positions on your starting spot. Nice red ball colours tonight in the next gen car. How are you feeling tonight, mate? You looking quick early? Looks like you want to lead from the front.
Yeah, how's it going, mate? Yeah, no, I'm doing pretty good. Been making passing moves like I always do, but at the moment it's just letting it flow through this race. At the moment, just everybody's trying to do the fuel saving / look after their stuff behind everybody, because that draft is so powerful. So I think that's pretty much the game plan at the moment, is just continue logging laps and just keep being consistent. But at the moment, I haven't changed any tyres yet, so I'm still on my old set. So it'll be interesting to see when people do make those tyre changes, but at the moment it's going pretty smoothly.
And real quickly before we let you go, Green, because you're about to go into turn 3, fuel from here. How long you got until you reckon you need to pit? I know you haven't gone green yet, so but roughly where do you think you're going to be?
Well, rough. It says about 29 laps you can get out of the tank of what I can see. So I've got lap 76 to go now. So 75. If you can get to lap 59 to go, you can make a first stop, and then you'll be looking at your next stop around lap somewhere around there as well. And so if you can do it in 30, so 59, then 28 laps to go, that's pretty much the earliest you want to do a pit stop, but sort of let the race play out.
No worries, mate. We'll let you get back concentrated now, but thanks for making yourself available here, mate. Get amongst it, but we currently have Norman Clark, Brett Campbell, Ruben Phelps, Demetrius Agathos, the front two rows, bringing us to green here on the InSim Esports Network for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series, round 4 here from Pocono Raceway. Ruben, we'll jump you up. No need to say anything. We'll move you back to your room.
That was a good interview from Ruben Phelps, as we are green now here, as we see 3 wide almost. Ruben Phelps, Clark, Smith, Campbell, Malone, top 5 as you see from the restart, Aiden. That was awesome. Bit of reflection from one of the drivers here, but nice clean restart again. And Phelpsy, is he going to get the lead of the race?
Yeah, just watching him at the moment. Just trying to get him back up into the right channel, Pete, so I need you to just cover me for 1 second if you can, please.
All good, Phelpsy. He's got the lead of the race, so hopefully you're still listening, mate, because Aiden's still struggling to find the room. Get in there, mate. Up the inside, here we go. The tricky triangle, as everyone likes to call it, 3 wide, slow car in the mid-pack. 4 wide almost, who's that?
At Pocono Raceway. And I did get him back up in the channel, by the way, but Adam Malone right there on the inside. Sorry to cut you off there, Peter, but I just saw how excited you were, so I needed to jump in. But we see Ruben Phelps taking the lead of this motor race. Norman Clark there. It's the New Zealanders leading the way, Paul. You'll be happy about that one, back behind the cameras at the moment, so feel free to jump in because you'll be happy to see your fellow New Zealanders leading the way here for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series here. Brought to you by the Cube Retro Radio Station. Demetrius Agathos, Brett Campbell, Daniel Smith, Darren McKenzie, Adam Malone, Sam Katakouzanos up 9 positions on his starting position in P8, Michael Budge P9. Rounding out our top 10 at the moment is my man Daniel Beckinsale up there in P10, although it being 6 positions down on his starting position. Look out for the 550 of Tristan Koch at the moment. He's going to be there somewhere at the end of this one. He looks like he's pretty clean, his car at the moment, so he'll be there. Brad Allison caught up in an incident earlier, but he's back up there. That fast repair is definitely paying dividends for some drivers tonight, guys. Not many people lap down. There's only 3 at the moment. Looks like 3 people didn't actually make the start tonight, being Steve Hoppett, Andy Barber and Greg Spencer by the looks of it. So that's very unfortunate for those guys. But Ruben Phelps at the moment at the front, his last lap was a 54.67 as opposed to Norman Clark's 54.75. So Ruben very comfortable at the front at the moment. Demetrius Agathos has moved his way up into P3 ahead of Darren McKenzie. Adam Malone there as well. Looks like these guys are racing pretty hard for the minors at the moment. 5th, 6th and 7th of Adam Malone, Daniel Smith, Sam Katakouzanos and Brett Campbell. So the number 8 car there, Michael Budge, getting really loose out of 3 down the main straight here at Pocono Raceway. But Peter, I know I can just talk and talk and talk. We're nearly about to click over lap 30 next time across the strike here at Pocono Raceway. That's only not even 1/3 of the way around 100 laps here. So you need to calm me down now because I'm excited. 28 in, 29 in. How excited am I going to be 70?
Well, mate, we're, not even 30 in, and I'm like the little kid in the background with my finger up going, hey, miss, look at me. I'm just watching some of these pictures come through. And these guys, I tell you, you're talking about Phelpsy and being comfortable before. Look at this guy. Look at this battle in here. It's definitely not comfortable. Oh, yours.
Beckinsale, Brad Allison, nearly 3 wide through 3 at Pocono Raceway there, Peter. Brad Allison came out the best of that exchange, but we're still 2 wide. Behind there as Brett Campbell and Daniel Beckinsale fight over the 11th and 10th respectively. So as we go, caution lap 30 of 100 into Pocono. So sorry to cut you off there, Peter. I just got too excited again. What a battle that was for the minor place.
Yeah, it was too. And what I liked is Clark, he held his nerves, but we'll go to a replay here. And I'm not too sure. I can't really see the car numbers, but I'll let you talk us through it.
Yeah, we'll go back and have a look. We'll have a look from back here. Not sure at the moment. We'll just look who's in pit lane. I can't see anyone on the live timing, so we'll just watch it as you see here on the lovely pictures brought to you by Paul Jackson. That looks like Andy Barber in the Coke car at the moment in the 05 coming out of pit lane.
I'm not sure what's brought this caution out here, actually.
Yeah, we're not sure what's brought it out. We'll see. The caution's already out at this stage by the looks of it. So could be one of these iRacing Houdini things, gents. So unsure at the moment. No doubt Paul will keep having a look, but at this stage we're not quite sure. It's that car stopping on the back stretch by the looks of it there. That looks like Andy Barber may be letting people past, and it's brought the caution out. I believe that's what it is. So correct me if you think different, gentlemen, but I believe that's what's brought the caution out here.
No, I think you're there. I think you're correct there, Aiden. I think if you tap the wall a little bit too hard, you'll set off a caution, and if you go below the yellow line or you go under the speed threshold, well, I think that's what brings out a caution. But Darren McKenzie, Phelps, Agathis, Clark, Malone, Smith, Semi K, Budge rather, Ellison and Campbell. That's your top 10. We're under caution again, lap 31. 69 to go. What a number, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I've got nothing to that, Peter. I've just got absolutely...
Yeah, you're supposed to let it fly. It was going to be good if you let it fly. Just let it fly.
We're meant to be PG here on the Indersim Esports Network, so we
would
do
have been if you let it fly.
But anyway, Darren McKenzie going into pit lane. I was actually just about to suggest, Peter, that when we were on board with Ruben before, he did mention in the mid-50s about that pit if it went green, but now it's gone yellow, and it looks like everyone's sort of jumped in the pits there, as opposed to maybe Jeffrey Ford at the moment and Dean Gufoyle have jumped to the top, but those guys have jumped in and decided they're going to take some tyres and some fuel.
Yeah, well, I think it's just about, you know, we're only a third through the race, really, to be honest. It's stick with the leader. Stick with the guy, you know, and play it out. And then hopefully, you said it's going to be, I think, a two-stopper. Well, I think Ruben said it was going to be a two-stopper. So you want to, you just want to stick with the guy, you know, right now, because anything can happen. We've had 2 cautions in the matter of laps. So the pace car's out, the lights are on, and we've probably got another 2 laps under caution. But you never know what can happen, especially ovals or triangles or the, you know, tracks like this. But you don't know what's gonna, you don't know what's gonna happen. So you just go with the guy in front of you. You go with the guy that thinks gonna finish the race and finish the race competitively, and you just run with it. And I think you'll probably find out in another 70 laps who's going to win this thing, or a better idea anyway. But it's oval racing, Aiden, and you're the guru, not me. But I think I nailed it there. It's the last 5 laps in ovals. It doesn't matter what you do in the first 32 cautions. We've had 2 in the last 10. Anything can happen. 68 to go.
Yeah, you hit nail on the head with the oval comment, definitely. But this is Pocono as well, Peter. Cautions and tyre wear play a massive part with the result at Pocono, especially if we get a couple of long green runs. So, but even if we only get 1 long green run, we don't know what the guys, as opposed like the likes of Michael Shaw, Brad Allison, Campbell has done at the back, considering they've been involved in stuff earlier. They probably haven't taken stuff, so they've just been circulating and going quite well. So if we do get a long green flag run with, I would suspect, only 1 set of tyres now behind the wall, and I think, 67 laps to go, it's definitely going to be a tyre wear situation here, and a fuel situation as well, because it's going to be pretty tight with 1 to go. But Yeah, there's a lot to play out at the moment. Jeffrey Ford currently leading the way here as well. Dean Guilfoyle. Looks like Ruben Phelps has dropped back there to 7th as well. So a lot to play out. Norman Clark, who was up there before we went into that cautions, dropped back there to P10, Peter, as well. Holdsworth back in 11th. Adam Malone, as we saw earlier in the race, right up there as well. The 550, Tristan Koch, Michael Shaw, Brad Allison, Brett Campbell and Dave Oliver. So we're about to go green here on the Full Throttle Friday night Next Gen Series for the 3rd time of the night. Jeffrey Ford leading the way, but yeah, Peter, definitely anyone's here tonight, mate. We're only in the 30-odd laps of 100, so looking forward to the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said earlier, you're not going to know until you're probably in the last 10. And as we run under caution for the 2nd time of the night, Ford, like you said, you already run through, so I don't need to do it again. But you've seen a lot of smart guys, Sammy Kay, Darren McKenzie, Phelps, Beckinsale, they've all pit. But look at this, side by side. They're still not really grouped. And you've seen this last time as well. They weren't grouped, but as we go green again.
Yep, and we're going green again for the Full Throttle Friday night Next Gen Series for the 3rd time tonight. Jeffrey Ford brings us to the green flag. Demetrius Agathos, Sam Katakouzanos, Dean Guilfoyle, Ruben Phelps making a great move down there on the inside into the 4th position into turn 1 here at Pocono. On the outside, it looks like Daniel Smith, Darren McKenzie, Daniel Beckinsale getting a part of it as well. So we're going 2-3 wide down the back straight into 2 here at Pocono Raceway for the Full Throttle Friday night Next Gen Cup Series, Peter.
Yeah, definitely. It's elbows out every single restart. We've only had a couple now, but it's elbows out every time as we go again. And Ford hasn't pit. Agathis, I don't think's pit, and Guilfoyle hasn't pit. McKenzie has, Semi K and Smith has. That's your like top 6, and they're in a battle. The 02 car is following that that line. The 02 is McKenzie. He's following that yellow line, and he's doing good. He's out, and he's following Agathis, and they're just going to keep on going around. And again, as you see, they're just trying to make that single file as they have done throughout. But oh, look at this McKenzie. He wants the lead of the race. Here we go. McKenzie's making a move.
Yeah,
McKenzie to the lead of the race.
Yeah, and you see that because I'm looking at Jeffrey Ford still trying to make the move on the outside there with Demetrius Agathos, really helping him down the back stretch there into 2 here at Pocono. But I can see there that Jeffrey Ford last transitioned through pit lane on lap 23, and so did Dean Guilfoyle, who sits there in P5. Everyone else around him did 31, lap 31, so they've got 8 laps the better at the moment. So that's why we see Darren McKenzie there through turn 3 here at Pocono take the lead of this motor race. But Jeffrey Ford and Dean Guilfoyle at the moment 8 laps worse on tyre wear to everyone around them. So if this goes green for a long period of time, these front 8 to 10 spots are really going to change over this long period. But Jeffrey Ford still holding tough there on the outside as he goes through turn 1 here at Pocono. But Demetrius Agathos just having so much more drive there out of 1, coming up into the complex, as I call it, through 2. Demetrius Agathos trying to make the move up the inside of Jeffrey Ford here. Is Jeffrey going to open the steering wheel for him? Yes, he does. Nice clean move there by Demetrius, but he's been hurried up on the back as well by Ruben Phelps is a part of this as well. So Ruben's trying to return the favour there and make 2 spots for 1 as they go into turn 3 here at Pocono. And he clears Demetrius Agathos and moves himself into the 2nd position, Peter.
Yeah, well, he's been very strong as we go 3 wide further back in the field. Have a look at this. We've got Smith, Ford, and Malone, I think that is. As we almost go, I thought we were going to go 4 wide there, but they don't want to do it. They still hold 3 wide. We still hold 3 wide. Have a look at this. There's 37 of 100. We just come off a caution.
Yeah, and Adam Malone definitely won that battle, and now he's making the move on the inside there of Daniel Smith. So not only 15 seconds ago he was a part of battle into 1, he's now just made a move on a position into 2. So definitely helped Adam Malone out there. Norman Clark, we ride on board with the 09 car out of New Zealand there on the inside of Daniel Smith. I believe that is in the purple and black car. So Norman Clark starting to make his way back to the front after being 3 spots down on his starting position. But in saying that, Daniel Smith is holding up tight on the outside, and now Norman Clark has Sam Katakouzenos all over his bumper. So Norman's going to have to be racing from in front and behind now, because Sam is right over the back of him. And look who's going right behind Sam there, guys, in the 03 car. That is Brad Allison. He is back up there now into P8 and definitely a part of this motor race.
He doesn't hold himself out either in any motor race that is a part of Brad Allison. He's in the 03 car at the moment, right in the heat of the battle. But the guys look a little bit jittery. I don't know if it's just me, Aiden, but it doesn't look like they want to settle into their position. As you see Allison just make one up there. They don't want to settle into the position. They're always wanting to gain. I would have thought that they wanted to settle in and just, try and make the move at the 80, but I don't think that's the case, mate. They want to just make them all up now, but I don't know. You're the guru in the ovals.
It's definitely tyre condition. You can see currently Darren McKenzie making a great gap on the field, currently 2.15 seconds in front, but in saying that, he's doing that because he's got no hot air. So when you're in behind these cars, especially where they're so aero-orientated or not so aero-orientated, rather, with such a big, heavy car, as soon as you're in a draft and you get that big buffer off the side of the car where all the wind stops, especially through 2, where it's quite a fast corner, and the cars are built pretty much to run through 1 and 2, so you need to use that throttle and turn in very lightly. But it's definitely a tricky track to master. So I'm thinking it's going to be a tyre thing, because you can see Adam Malone here, he's sort of dropped that, or kept that margin at sort of that 2.2 seconds at the moment. The more these guys fight, though, in this second backpack, Peter, that's where their stuff's going to get hot, and it's going to be harder and harder for them to try and move forward. So they probably want to go line astern a little bit, but from what we've seen here as we're 40 laps into 100, I don't think they're going to do that. So we currently have Demetrius Agathos going up the inside there of Ruben Phelps. So this is where the battle is. Ruben and Demetrius getting really tight there out of 2. Demetrius has to yield out of 2 into 3, so Ruben Phelps keeps that position. But this battle between Ruben, Demetrius, Norman, Brad Allison, Daniel Smith and Sam Katakouzenos, this is definitely one to look forward to over the next 5 laps. But Adam Malone has just kicked away in P2 there as well, chasing down Darren McKenzie. Darren's pulled out another couple of tenths last lap as well, so Darren's got really good pace at this stint at the moment of the race as we go 41 into 100 here at Pocono. Looks like that's Norman Clark making a move down the inside there of Demetrius Agathos. So that moves Norman Clark into P4, and he'll now be chasing down Ruben Phelps to try and get himself onto the back end of that podium. But Peter and Paul, what a great race so far, guys. 41 into 100. How good is this?
How good is it, Paul? Speak up, mate. I'm gonna probably speak over you all night, but I'm having fun. But Paul, I knew you were probably waiting for me, because that's what has been happening all night. But I'll let you have the floor.
Yeah, well, it's been hard to even get a bit of a word in tonight, but you two guys are doing a pretty good job, and obviously Peter is our special guest commentator for the night again. It's good having you in the booth with us, so the floor's always yours when you're here, so I don't mind taking the back seat just to focus on the cameras. But being Pocono, the tricky triangle, as they say, and a little bit different, as we've seen 42 odd laps around here now. Why don't we go on board here with Brad, and he can take us for a lap around, and we can see what the triangle's like to drive from a driver perspective.
Be awesome.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of laps around Pocono Raceway, on board with none other than the 03 car of Brad Allison, currently sitting there in P5. After getting caught up with something earlier, he's been doing a great job, but at the front there, still plugging away now at a 2.9 second margin. Darren McKenzie there on Adam Malone in P2, but this second group, gentlemen, has definitely joined together for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, respectively. So they're definitely going to be wanting to chase down Darren McKenzie and Adam Malone at the front there at the moment.
Oh yeah, definitely. The guys have been they've been battling all night and a little bit occupied now. So Aidan, I'll let you take it.
No, you're right there, Peter. It looked like Ruben Phelps got into an incident there with Daniel Smith. It looked like into turn 3, so doesn't look like that's brought out the caution either. So those guys are going to be definitely hampered as this race goes on. Looks like Ruben Phelps is sitting duck there currently to, not sure if that was Daniel Smith or Beckinsale, but Ruben Phelps with a lot of damage there, and it looks like also... yeah, it might have been Daniel Smith who was caught up in that incident as well. Has a lot of damage on the front end of that car. So not bringing out a caution there either, Peter. They can't use their faster pair at the moment. So they're going to be a little bit hamstrung as we're 45 laps into 100. They're probably just going to want to stay on that lead lap and pray for a late caution to be able to use that faster pair. So don't write these guys off. But in saying that, we do have the likes of Brad Allison at the front there in P4 that was lucky to not be a part of that, because I believe he probably already used his fast repair in the incident we saw earlier, so he's lucky to get through that one. But Adam Malone, as we saw the exact same that Darren McKenzie did, as we see Darren McKenzie in pit lane, I believe. That's really weird to see Darren McKenzie come down pit lane, but Darren McKenzie's in pit lane. Adam Malone's taken over the lead of this motor race from Norman Clark. So not sure if I missed something there, but Darren's just come in. Looks like all he's done is taken a bit of fuel.
Yeah, maybe that's he's a little bit short on his first stop, but I don't know. Well, I'm a little bit shocked just as you are, but Malone will take it. Number 4 car takes the lead of the race, and Clark and Allison, that's your top 3. But yeah, definitely, it's a little bit of a weird one, isn't it? Maybe he was caught short in his first pit stop.
Yeah, very, very, very weird one. But he's a smarter man than me, so let's
Phelps
see how.
in too.
Yeah, Phelps is in too. So they haven't taken fuel. Some of these guys through the earlier cautions might have taken some extra fuel. So I can see what these guys that are pitting at the moment that were in the front are doing. So they're going to be a lot quicker for a lot longer in this next run early, but then it's going to turn around. So definitely one more stop to go, though. I don't think they can get to the end. I'm not sure that they can. So whether, because they only had another set of tyres, yeah, I reckon they're double stinting a set of tyres for probably 10 to 15 laps, I believe. So I don't know, I could be wrong, but from what I can see with my calculations, I believe that is the only logical reason for them to be pitting 46, 47 laps in, doing that amount under caution as well. They can't make it to the end, in my opinion, so they're going to have to double stint a set.
Yeah, so it's a bit weird. So, well, they were leading the race, mate, so I think their knowledge is going to pass on to the rest of the field. And I reckon with those couple of stops there from those people, Aidan, I think that's going to sort of confuse the rest of the field. I think it confused us, but I think more so it's going to confuse the rest of the field. Look at this side by side, and just easy as it does it down the inside.
Yeah, but if we go back and have a look, funny you just mentioned about the time. Like last lap, Adam Malone 54.8 as opposed to Norman Clark's 54.6. But then we go back, everyone else around there is in the 55s, and the next best on that last lap was actually Ruben Phelps with a 53.8. So not a massive amount of difference really for that top 10 at the moment. So that tyre, where if they did take tyres, or like they could be doing that little stint now going around just to get enough to take their last set of tyres into the end. So The times at the front don't really look much different as Adam Malone and Norman Clark there in P1 and 2 just set another quickest lap out of the bunch of everyone, nearly half a second quicker than Brad Allison there in third place. So they've still got some pace there in the 1 and 2 cars, 1 and 2 place cars rather, of the 4 Adam Malone and the 09 Norman Clark.
Yeah, definitely. They've got pace, all right. We're just about to click over halfway. Would you believe it? It's only halfway through the race. Plenty of action to go. We've had a few cautions, but I think as you have a look at the field, just look at those shots as you come down the straight. A little bit of side-by-side action, but most of the time it's single file and a little bit of gaps between most of the car. But Malone, Clark, and good to see Mr. Sammy K up on. Hopefully he can keep that that third step, but that car 968 it looks very fast.
Yeah, it does look strong, Peter. Up 14 spots on his starting position at the moment. He's been slowly up there, just biding his time. Looks like Brad Allison there in the 03 car is struggling on this longer run on this tyre set at the moment. We did see Sam catch him and pass him quite decisively. Brad doing well just to try and stick behind him at the moment, but Sam Katakuzanos up into the third position off his 17th starting position, 51 laps into 100, doing a great job there in the 968 Bushfink racing car. So he's doing a great job. Norman Clark and Adam Malone, though, still setting great laps at the front last time round, 55.12, 55.16. Respectively, as opposed to Sam Katakuzanos as a 54 flat, Brad Allison with the toe there with a 53.8. So these guys in the first 2 positions at the moment still showing great pace. Looking back through the field, Darren McKenzie last lap 53.89. No one really there. 53.80 Ruben Phelps. So they're only really that 2 or 3 tenths quicker at the moment, Peter and Paul. So yeah, it's next 10-15 laps is really going to play out. I believe that Adam Malone, Norman Clark have gone through pit lane. Well, they went through pit lane on lap 31, so they're now 21 laps into their stint. Jeffrey Ford last time through pit lane was lap 23, currently in the 7th position, so he's going to be due to stop any time. So yeah, very interesting to see why the Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie did pit, because 45, 48, 46, 47, 50 and 50 for Agathos, Phelps, Smith, Gufoyle and Holdsworth on their last pit. So yeah, there's a very different strategy here fighting for the top 15 positions at the moment, guys.
Very different pit strategy, and it's good to see. That provides entertainment, and pretty much said, I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, Aidan, I pretty much said you won't know who's going to win or have any idea who's going to win. It's just the nature of the ovals. Probably this is a 100-lap race, so probably lap 92 you'll know or have an idea, and then even then you're going to be wrong. But all the battles, they're up front, the pit strategies, they're all different. There's battles everywhere, but what do you got? Malone, Clark, Sammy K, they're the same 3, but Sammy K, he's got a little bit of pressure on.
He does, but as we go through, Sammy K does have pressure on the back there from the 03 of Brad Allison, having a great run tonight after coming back from a little bit of a time away from iRacing. So it looks like Brad's just sat in behind Sammy K there and cooled his car down a little bit, and now it looks like he's making another run for Sam here to get on the back end of that podium, 54 laps in. But Pocono Raceway never fails to deliver, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on the IndySim Esports Network. It is Friday night. It is the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series, brought to you by the Cube, a retro radio station. As I said, we are here on the IndySim Esports Network. We are oval racing Pocono. Joining me in the booth, again, I have already introduced you, but Peter Gretton, mate, thank you so much for joining me again, and we're 54 into 100. Looking forward to hopefully repaying the favour on your streams and being able to help you out, but currently Adam Malone, Norman Clark showing a clean set of heels at the front, nearly 6 seconds in front of Sammy K and Brad Allison, as you see on screen at the moment.
Yeah, definitely not worrying about my stuff at the moment, mate. But look at the Intersim network, and well, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Look at the battles here. It's 55 out of 100. It's only just past the halfway mark, but this battle up the front, Malone, Clark, and Sammy K. Is it going to go down to pit stops? And you did say, Aiden, it's tyres, tyres, tyres. That's what you want to have. Green tyres at the end, and I don't know, I'm the most observant, or unobservant, I should say, broadcaster. I haven't kept an eye on tyres and that, but who do you reckon's got the greenest tyres out of here, Aiden? And who do you reckon's going to take the win? I know I said my driver of the night is going to be Mackenzie, but you know, I'll stand by that. But I'm rooting for Sammy K. He's the bloke with all the personality, all the skill, but very little personal gain. Like, it's not gain. I mean, you know what I mean. Results.
Yeah, doing a great job as he always does. But as you were just saying there, I just witnessed, or I just saw, sorry, on my timing there, Peter, that Jeffrey Ford did finally blink and make his way down pit lane 55 laps into 100. So he was the one that was longest on that first set of fuel, or that first fuel run, or fuel drop rather. So he's gone through pit lane currently. He is still on the pit lead lap. He is currently 16th. So Brett Campbell's just making his way down through pit lane at the moment as well. Currently, if we want to go back and answer your question, Peter, sorry, I've got there currently the best on fuel, I can say, at least. And if I would think tyres as well, Demetrius Agathos there in P9 is currently looking pretty good. Also, I could say Dean Guilfoyle and Jason Holdsworth are looking okay as well. They do have quite a big gap to be able to catch up, but they're looking all right. But we'll see how big the tyre deg is, because outside of those Demetrius Agathos, Darren McKenzie in front of him last come through pit lane lap 45, as opposed to Demetrios's lap 48. Everyone else in front of them are 32 and before, so 12, 13 lap better tyres for everyone sort of there from 8th position on. So we're going to see a lot of people come through pit lane very, very shortly, and we're going to see this race play out. But Adam Malone still currently leading the way there over Norman Clark. Last lap, 55 fours, 55 twos respectively for both of those guys. They've actually just gone 55 twos each, as opposed to everyone behind the 55 fives at the moment, 55 sixes. So these two or three guys at the front here are definitely, or the two guys at the front here are definitely still making massive, massive gains on that second pack, and they still haven't pitted again. So they're in a really, really strong position in this race, gentlemen.
Yeah, definitely. The top three right here. They've stolen the show. It's pretty much been all about them. But, you know, it's oval. They've got to stop again, as you mentioned. So will they push too hard here? And like you said also, I'll keep quoting the NASCAR genius, Aiden, is if they push too hard here, they're going to leave themselves short at the end for tyres. Because I think, what do you reckon, Aiden? It's the green tyres at the end. So you don't want to push too hard, but they've got a gap. They've got track position, so can they afford to push hard now and just write this tyre set off?
Well, it depends. There's two different strategies here. So we've got the Tristan Koch, Jeffrey Ford, Michael Shaw, Brett Campbell, Andy Barber, Tom Pritchard. Well, they're even further down, rather, so they're probably bad examples. But Ruben Phelps last pitted on 46, Demetrius Agathos 48, Darren McKenzie 45, but then everyone in front of them are at least 12 or 13 laps before that. So to answer your question, they're two different strategies. So the guys at the front at the moment are trying to run as long as they can, so they're going to want a long green flag run on new tyres at the end. The guys at the moment that pitted earlier are they've caught up a little bit, but they're going to see a tyre sort of stagnate now, and their times aren't going to really catch them as much. So they're going to want to, as soon as they pit after, to make as much room as they can. But At the moment, Adam Malone, Norman Clark currently 7.6 seconds ahead of Sam Katakouzanos. They're really in the box seat at the moment. I think they can pit maybe one more time and get home. I'm not quite sure. 31 laps, we're at 60. So 62. Yeah, it might be a little bit tough. So I don't know. If they can get to around about lap 70 mark, they'll be perfect, but I'm not sure they can get there.
Yeah, based off our little chat with Ruben earlier, when he said he could make about 29, I was going to say it's about time that they're going to be jumping to pit. So, yeah, Adam Malone into pit as Norman Clark's obviously saved a little bit of fuel behind Adam. So, Norman will probably come in to cover Adam off the next lap round.
So what we'll see here, ladies and gentlemen, as Paul rightly pointed out, so we've got the guys that pitted on lap 31 going through pit lane now. We do have guys that pitted in the mid-40s to late 40s or 50 going around. So they're going to take the effective lead of the motor race. But what we're going to see is both these groups of cars that are even pitted now and who's going to pit after are still possibly going to have to pit again before they get to the end of this race. So when these cars in front come out, each of these battle packs have got one more pit each, and they will be going through to the end of the race, if I do see it correctly. But Norman Clark now blinks and tries to cover off Adam Malone into pit lane. Nice smooth entry there from Norman Clark in the 09 car. Very well done there. But we'll just stay on him as he goes down pit lane at the moment, Peter and Paul. We are on the 09 car of Norman Clark here on the NSM Esports Network. He makes his way down pit lane at the moment. We've just lost him. Here he comes, right at the front of the pit boxes, because he did qualify in the front two rows. So Norman Clark, nice smooth box entry there, taking his 4 tyres, no doubt. We are 62 laps into 100, so we'll see where Norman Clark comes out. There he goes, makes his way off pit lane. Nice smooth exit there. So we'll see where Norman Clark comes out. Currently, he is moving backwards. He's in 5th position at the moment, but that'll no doubt change. But there we go, guys. Let's have a little bit of a recap as we're 62 laps into 100 and have a little bit of a look back at when we put our crystal ball out earlier in the race on who we thought were going to win this one. So let's start with you, Paul Blocker-Jackson, mate. Who was your pick? Remind us all, and how is that driver travelling in this race?
Well, we'll jump on onto his car here. So Daniel Smith is currently sitting in P7, 2 spots down from where he started. He did have a little bit of a tangle earlier that I think he needed to pit and use his fast repair, as I see his pit crew's put his bumper back on the front of his car, so he must have had one in the trailer they could slap on the front of that thing. So hopefully he can make up a few more spots there, as he's just moved up into P6 as well. So he's tracking along well. I think the biggest key here is probably the pit stops at lap 71 is the golden lap here. So if you can pit around lap 71, 72, you'll be good to get home, and whoever pits there will probably be our race winner.
Yeah, well said there, Paul, and what a great drive by Daniel Smith. Good pick, mate. Nice solid position, P6 at the moment. He is down 1 spot on his starting position, as you did mention, but nice solid drive there by Daniel Smith. But Peter, mate, your turn. Who was your pick? Remind all the viewers and give us a bit of a rundown on how he's going.
Well, if you remember, the viewers will probably be quite confused, because I picked the car number 2, who, just saying, is sitting in position 2 of Darren McKenzie, but I also said Phelps. So let's go with let's 2 and 3, Phelps and McKenzie. They're my picks, because, you know, I'm the guest. I'm allowed to pick 2, but they've had a good race, but they're on different strategies. Like, we've still got plenty of racing to go. I think 36, if my math is correct. 36 laps to go, but Darren McKenzie, I've seen a lot of him around the traps, and he's on a good strategy, actually, I think, and he might bring home the goods. But if he doesn't, Yeah, it'd be tyres, definitely, because you hit the nail on the head in the pre-show, the post-show, during the show. It's all about tyres. But Darren McKenzie, I think, is he's a little bit too early. But hopefully he can steady out his second place or even get a race win.
Yeah, Demetrius is actually looking really, really good in this race. Right in front there of the 0-2, as you mentioned, Darren McKenzie. He last pitted on lap 48. We did hear Paul say before the magic number 71. So he went through pit lane lap 48. And if he was smart and took the fuel, that's only 23 laps to get to lap 71. We're already at lap 65. So he hasn't come into pit lane yet. So it looks like Demetrius Agathos at the moment, who's currently setting better lap times as Darren McKenzie by almost 0.2 of a second, is on a really, really good strategy here. Not sure what's in the tyre bank, but he's got his car in a really good position. He's up 11 spots on his starting position. But since you've asked, I'm going to have to tell you how my driver's going, because since you've asked and all. So my
yeah, Aiden, how's yours driver going?
Yeah, there we go. Daniel Beckinsale back in 11th position at the moment. So nice and steady job by Daniel tonight, by the looks of it. Haven't said a lot about him, but he's leading the championship. So very quiet night, no doubt, by his standards, but still there just outside the top 10 at the moment in 11th position. Currently setting lap times quicker than the guys in front of him, so we'll see how the race pans out for him. But there's going to be one more pit stop for all these guys, so who's going to blink first, guys? I think it's going to be Darren McKenzie's going to be the first in pit lane. Ruben Phelps won't be far behind him, and then Demetrius Agathos will be the next one. They'll be the ones who's going to blink early, I believe, here.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a mixed bag too, because the tyre situations is mixed. You roll a dice, who's going to win? Oh, no idea. I have no idea. But the way it stands, 67 out of 100. Agathos, McKenzie, Phelps, Malone, Smith, Clark, Holdsworth, Guilfoyle, Sammy Kay, and Allison's your top 10. But we're riding on board right now with the car number 82 of, let's get down there, have no idea, that's Ford. That's Ford riding on board with, and he's got Koch right in his thing, so it's in his thing, he's got his right in his windscreen.
I hope he's not riding this thing.
That's the technical term of being right up his spoiler here on the InterSim Esports Network. So good to see there you've brought the technical terms here to modern esports commentary, Peter.
Oh, definitely. And if that doesn't fix it, go get your thingamajig and just go fix the whatchamacallit, and then done. That's 3 seconds straight up. But have a look at it. You still got plenty of time to go, and it's good to see we see the commentary and everyone's stuff up. But you know, I'll take the piss out of you as much as you take the piss out of me. So game on. Agathos, McKenzie, Phelps. How good is it?
Yeah, it's great, and I just did get a PM from Steve Hoppett, who's actually running this league, and we have to have a big shout out because I did see a message come through from him, and we have mentioned Brad Allison in the 0-3 car currently sitting in 10th position. He's been through a tough time, Brad, knee operation, etc., and that was only a couple of weeks ago for him to be out there and be running around in the top 10 at the moment. He's been through like quarantine because of our lovely COVID environment and everything, and he's still back here iRacing. So great to see Brad out there, and currently now just moved up into P9 as well here at Pocono. So Brad, from everyone at the InterSim Esports Network, great to see you here for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series once again. Look forward to seeing you a lot more times over the coming weeks. But Darren McKenzie there leading the way over Ruben Phelps. He's got a 1.43 second gap over Ruben at the moment, as it looks like Ruben's slowly pegging that one back. But
need to jump in here, Aiden. Our previous race leader of Demetrius Agathos actually dropped out, I think. So he's actually had some issues and has now gone a lap down. So Not sure if he's out of the race. I believe it says there on the timing there that he's actually out. So that's really unfortunate for Demetrius.
Very unfortunate after leading this race. Sorry I didn't capture that one, Paul. I was too busy looking at timing and looking at everything else going on, so I totally missed that. So, yeah, good catch, mate. Very terrible there for Demetrius after leading this thing and looking like he was going to be in a really good position to be able to possibly fight for the win of this one. So this now mixes things up at the front. Darren McKenzie at the front at the moment. Last time down pit lane, lap 45. He'll be coming down pit lane very, very shortly. Adam Malone in a good position there in second. Last time down pit lane, lap 60, but he's going to have to pit again as well. So not sure whether he wants to follow down Darren when he does it so he keeps his track position. Ruben Phelps there in third last time down pit lane, lap 46 as well. Daniel Smith, fourth, 47 laps last time through. So these guys are going to blink first. What's going to be very interesting to watch here, guys, as Adam Malone tries to make the move there for the lead. He's probably just answered what I was going to ask, but I thought he might sit there and wait and pit when Darren and Ruben does to stay on the same strategy, because it looks like where they both all pitted, it looks like they're both, all three of them, sorry, are going to have to stop, but Darren and Ruben having to stop for sooner rather than Adam Malone. So interesting to see how this one pans out, as Ruben's fighting there too, trying to make the move there on Darren McKenzie, trying to get up into the second position, but Adam Malone's now taking the lead of the motor race.
And I want to just put on my strategy hat here, because Adam Malone pitted on lap 60, so that's going to bring Adam to lap 89, and he's still going to have 11 laps. So I dare say Adam's probably used his tyres now, and he's made that last run, hoping to get a lead out now, and is looking just for a splash and dash in those last 11 laps, whereas Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie have pitted at lap 46, 45 respectively, so they're probably still going to have a tyre set in the bank. So when they do come to pit, which should be very soon, in probably the next 2 or 3 laps, I'd say, they will have some fresh boots on to go hard to the end, and I think this is going to really hurt Adam in the long run.
Yeah, very good call there, Paul. You hit the nail exactly on the head. Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie, we probably will see him come down pit lane in the next 2 laps. We recall that when we were on board with Ruben, he said about the 28-29 lap mark there on a tank of fuel, Paul. So you got it exactly right there and weighed up this situation perfectly. It looks like that Ruben and Darren McKenzie are in great spots. Adam Malone, we can't say he's not in a great spot, Paul, but he's definitely not in the winning position at the moment if he doesn't get another caution. It looks like the number 06 and number 02 car, Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie respectively, with 3 seconds on Daniel Smith in 4th, will be the effective leaders of this race, as we see Darren McKenzie be the first to blink down pit lane.
Yeah, and just looking off on our timing here, so the first to jump at lap 72 was Jason Holdsworth and Dean Guilfoyle, so they are possibly sitting in pretty good spots now. They were a little ways back, but they were the first to jump, so we'll see if that little bit of an undercut a lap earlier to Darren McKenzie will pay off or not.
Yeah, we'll see. That'll be a really, really big jump. Dean Guilfoyle and Jason Holdsworth, we'll see what their lap times do over the next couple of laps. It's a long way back, though, because looks like Darren McKenzie's now moving out of pit lane. Tristan Koch is in pit lane. Looks like Ruben Phelps is now just coming down pit lane as well. So he's the last one of those front runners jumping into pit lane, as well as Daniel Smith. So couple of guys jumping to the top at the moment, but this is all going to play out. Who pits on lap 72 to 75, who's going to be leading that when this all plays out, is going to see who's going to be into possibly win this race into the back end of the race if we do go green flag to the end.
Well, you always hope for green flags in the end, end in any oval race or any race actually, green flag to the end. But like you said earlier, Aiden, it's a tyres game, and it's about strategy. You need to be able to hold off, but no one knows when the yellow comes out. A caution can come at any time, so you got to run your race as if there's no cautions and just go from there. But there's a couple of guys that I'm not yet confident to speak about, but I think there's a couple of guys in here, and they're up in the top 10 that I think, in my opinion, are hoping for a caution. But I'll bring that to light later on. But as we stand, Malone and Semi K, well, I don't know. They're out in front. Will they be able to stand or withstand the next 24 laps?
My short answer to you, Peter, if it goes green, no. So looking where they pitted at the moment, currently your effective leader of this motor race, if we do go green to the end, is Ruben Phelps in the 06 Aussie Esports car in P9 with Darren McKenzie in P10. Currently last through pit lane on laps 74 and 73 respectively. That's enough to get those two cars to the finish of this motor race. But Adam Malone, Sam Katakuzanos, Brad Allison, Norman Clark, Daniel Beckinsale, Michael Budge, all around the lap 60, 61. So they're not going to be able to get to the end of this race. So a lot to play out here. We are 77 laps into 100 for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series of the IndySim Esports Network. 23 to go. We are going to see around about the lap 85 mark to 90 where these guys in front are going to have to blink. So effectively the 06 and the 02 car you see on screen at the moment are the effective leaders of this motor race. Peter, I bet those guys in front are definitely hoping for a caution.
Oh, there's only one reason why you haven't pit now, and that's because you're waiting for a caution. But like you just said, these are the effective leaders out on screen, and Phelps and McKenzie, they're pretty much the best I've seen. Anyway, that's me. Best I've seen, or one or two of the best, I should say, on ovals. And Darren McKenzie and Ruben Phelps, they definitely know what they're doing. So if they've done their stops and they're right to the end, and look at them now, they're not left alone either. So they're going to have the benefits of the bump draft and the tail draft. So it's only time will tell there, Aiden, but they know what they're doing. And will we see a battle to the end with these guys, Phelps and McKenzie?
They're going to work with each other, I think, for the next 10 to 12 laps, I think. With where they are, they can probably see that the guys in front are going to have to pit at the moment. So they're making that gap currently on Daniel Smith. It's now extending out over 6 seconds. So with being the effective leaders of the race, I'd say the next 79 into 100, next 10 to 12 laps, they're probably going to work together a little bit. And then knowing Darren and Ruben, the way that they race, they're going to be side by side, I'd suggest, for at least the last 5 laps of this one, if it does go green to the end. But if it doesn't, the strategies will all be shook up again here on the IndySim Esports Network anyway. So exciting either way, but the 06 and the 02 car, they're the effective leaders of this motor race. But we do currently have Adam Malone still leading the way of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. Sam Katakuzanos now 6.4 seconds behind him. Brad Allison in the 03 car in 3rd position as well. These guys all have to come through pit lane still, ladies and gentlemen, all the way through until Jeffrey Ford, who last come down pit lane on lap 54. So he's going to be due to come through pit lane very shortly. So don't be surprised if Jeffrey Ford makes a little bit of a late dash in this one, if he gets a little bit of an undercut, but currently back there in 8th position. So we'll watch out for him. But Adam Malone still circulating there as we move into the final 20 laps of this round 4 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series here on the IndySim Esports Network. Peter, thanks again for joining me. It's been a pleasure having you in the booth, mate. We're already 80 laps into 100. It feels like we've just started.
It definitely does. And you know what? And you're not going to know who's going to win this race or have any idea. Well, if you may have an idea, because I do, and I think Ruben Phelps He's got the cleaner tyres too. When you think of it, Reuben Phelps he's pitted on lap 74. Darren McKenzie's he's pitted on lap 73. So I think you're going to be in for one hell of a last couple of laps when the pit stops or the final pit stops come into play. But you've got a Campbell in the pit lane at the moment. But there's one lap between McKenzie and Phelps, and they're, in my opinion, are going to be the effective race leader come probably another 4 or 5 laps. But Malone and Sammy Kay, they're doing good, but I think it's going to be all about Phelps and McKenzie come their lap around about 85 to 90, and they're going to bring us home, I reckon.
Yeah, it definitely is, and you have a look at their last lap times, 53.9 for Darren McKenzie and a 54 flat for Reuben Phelps, as opposed to a 55.1 and a 55.1 for Adam Malone and Sam Katakouzanos at the front of the race at the moment, with Brad Allison, as you see there, ladies and gentlemen, right on his tail. So currently Darren McKenzie and Reuben Phelps setting fastest laps of the guys in front of them by nearly that time around another second of a lap quicker. So they're really catching really quickly at the moment, as you can see them come up on the leaderboard there on your left-hand side, 9th and 10th. So really catching the guys in front. We'll just watch this next lap around. So best lap of the race actually is a 53.64 by Reuben Phelps. So actually, sorry, I am mistaken. The quickest lap of the race is actually by car 420, Dean Guilfoyle, 53.5. That was done on lap 5. So currently last lap 55.1, Adam Malone, Sam Katakouzanos 55.2. Sorry, Sam K has just gone across with a 55.2 as well. So we'll go back and have a look at Reuben Phelps, and they're at the 54.2. So they're still going around that 1 second a lap quicker. So these pit stops are going to happen very, very shortly. Adam Malone last through pit lane on lap 60. So he's now 23 laps in. As Reuben said, about 29, he'll get out of it. So around about that lap 90, 91, I'd expect to see him, gentlemen. What do you think?
Yeah, I reckon so. You hit the nail on the head with the show pretty much going forward, mate. I'll 100% agree with you, but PJ, you're the guy with the buttons. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely that 29 laps is the most I think anyone can get out of the tank, unless you're doing some serious fuel saving to try and get any more. But it's going to be interesting with Adam Malone, as that gap to Reuben's 32.5 seconds by the look of it at the moment. So a little splash and dash, I think, if he doesn't need tyres. It's going to be interesting. I think Adam will be pretty close on coming out with Reuben and Darren. So it's definitely going to be game on in those last few laps, as we've got 16 to go. Yeah,
well, Reuben's currently 31.7 seconds behind Adam Malone at the moment. So you're about right, I think, with that little bit of a splash. I think with the new tyres, I think Reuben and Darren are probably making a little bit of an advantage on him at the moment. But he's definitely not out of this one if he's not taking tyres. He's on for a solid top 10, but I think the way that I see that those times are falling between him and Reuben and Darren at the moment, Paula, I think now is where it's really going to hurt him in this race. I think he either pits now and takes the pain now, or tries to extend it as long as he can, because those times are really dropping between Reuben, and Reuben's nearly brought it back to under 31 seconds. So just in the time I've been talking, they've dropped nearly a second and a half.
Yeah, the pit times and the pit strategies is definitely going to come into play. And like you said, is Phelpsy is coming into it. I think that's what you're saying. I was actually looking at my timing, but the pit stops, it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit erratic, but that's NASCAR. That's oval racing. And what do I say? Probably lap. Well, I said 82, but I'm going to bump that out to 92 because I have no idea either. But I think 92, everyone should be out and go green to the end. But at the moment, Malone, like you said, and it was Malone, not the other bloke I said, but Malone and Sammy K, they're out in front. It's all up to pit strategies, and there's still a couple of guys to dive to make it to the end.
Yeah, everyone up to P7 at the moment. Sorry, up to P6 at the moment. Looks like still going to have to make their way down pit lane. So the effective leaver is Ruben Phelps. But great battle here between Sam Katakouzenos and Brad Allison at second and third in this motor race. So having a great job. Adam Malone showing a clean set of heels now has opened that gap up at the front to over 7 seconds. As we see Sam Katakouzenos the first to blink there to make his final pit stop of the Pocono race here on the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. So Sam Katakouzenos making him way down pit lane, Daniel Beckinsale, Michael Budge, Dave Oliver, all joining him down pit lane to make their final stop of the race. So here is where we're going to see, ladies and gentlemen, where is Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie going to play out in all this? Adam Malone and Brad Allison still out there on track, so they are still going to have to come down pit lane, but Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie have moved themselves up into third and fourth position, respectively. 28 seconds now, nearly 29 behind Adam Malone. So pulled another couple of seconds as Sam Katakouzenos, Daniel Beckinsale, Michael Budge, Dave Oliver and the likes did go down pit lane. So another couple of seconds there for Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie. So we move into the back end of this race here at Pocono, 88 laps into 100. Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie in a great spot. We're on board with Brad Allison there, currently in P2. He does still need to make his way down pit lane. He is now 7.5 seconds behind the incumbent leader of Adam Malone. So these two guys, ladies and gentlemen, still need to make their way down pit lane, as we see Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie, our effective leaders of this race. They're in third and fourth. Ruben's got a little bit of a gap there on Darren. Darren's just sitting right behind him. Darren actually setting a lap a tenth quicker than Ruben last time across the strike. So Darren sitting there waiting for his time to pounce. That gap at the front has stagnated to 7.5 seconds between Adam Malone and Brad Allison as well. So they'll be blinking any lap now. And as I say that, Adam Malone has just made his way down pit lane. So didn't put the commentator's curse on Adam then. It came out at the perfect time, Paul and Peter. So Adam Malone has made his way down pit lane. Brad Allison stayed out for another lap around. Expect Brad to follow him this lap as well, as he came in one lap after Adam Malone. So expect Brad Allison to make his way down pit lane next time around. And we will see Ruben Phelps take the effective lead of this motor race with 11 laps to go here at Pocono.
Definitely, and that's the race that we thought we'd see at the end. That's Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie.
And we have
we gone to caution?
And
what brought that out?
Perfect for Adam Malone.
That is definitely perfect for Malone. That is absolutely perfect.
Not
now,
only
guys.
Not only Adam, but Brad Allison now as well in P1. He can take his pit stop under caution.
Very well said there, Paul. So I don't know if you could hear us, ladies and gentlemen, whether you could hear Paul then, but Brad Allison is in the box seat as well here. He can take his final stop under caution, which allows him to not lose that lap at least, so he can fight for the positions moving into the back end of this race. It will be Ruben Phelps, though, in the 06 Aussie Esports, as though as he looks like Red Bull tonight. Will bring us to green, I'd suspect, after this one with Darren McKenzie. But this has definitely shook it up, boys. 90 laps into 100. We thought it was going to go green to the end, but as I always say here at NASCAR, and you alluded to earlier in the broadcast there, Pete, I always say it only comes down to the final 10, and how many laps do we have to go?
Exactly 10 to go as we ride under pace car. I also said it's a pace car. It can rely on a pace car. You can go down. You can get everything right. And Aiden, I've only watched just a few rounds with you boys here on the InterSim network, but what I've already learned is it doesn't matter. Just follow your gut. Just listen to your gut, and go around and your strategy, if you stay clean, should turn out. And look, Allison, is it going to be a glory return back to him? But I'm not too sure. But I think Phelpsy and McKenzie as you move into the last 2 or 3 laps. I think they're really going to have their elbows out. But yeah, it's been a really good race tonight, and Allison is in the pit lane.
Well,
Yeah, Brad Allison definitely had to blink down pit lane there. He came in 1 lap after Adam Malone did, who we saw get the lucky caution there as he came out of pit lane. Lucky that didn't happen as he was in pit lane. So not good there really for Brad Allison, but at least he's there being able to fight towards the end. But in saying that, really good for Adam Malone, but Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie will bring us to green. But Adam Malone would be absolutely smiling underneath that helmet at the moment. That came out at perfect time for him.
Definitely. He pitted lap 88 as, was that I think he pitted lap 88. So yes, he did. He did. Sorry, I'm thinking of someone different as I was trying to call it. But yeah, he pit lap 88, so he's going to have the green tyres, and he doesn't have to catch up a gap at all.
Not sure, Peter, whether he'll have the green tyres. This is going to be the interesting part because they only had 2 sets over the wall, I believe. So the amount of times they've come down pit lane, this is what's going to be exciting here. We see Ruben Phelps and Darren McKenzie last made their way through pit lane on laps 74 and 73 respectively. We are now 91 laps in. We know that they can get to the end. That is not a problem, ladies and gentlemen. We have Adam Malone there in P3. Currently, you can see in the Monster Energy car, he's not through P3 on track at the moment. Andy Barber in the 05 will get waved around. But in P3, last time down pit lane, lap 88, only 3 laps ago. Did he have a set of tyres left? If he did...
5.92 seconds says no, yeah. I think.
5.92 definitely says no. But if you have a look back, mate, have a look. Daniel Beckinsale, Norman Clark, Dave Oliver, Michael Budge, all around the 86 lap mark only 5 laps ago. 14-second transition down pit lane. So they have 12 lap younger tyres for the back end of this top 10 than what these guys off the front do. So it definitely could be a shake-up as we are probably going to go green with about 7 laps to go here.
Well, the lights are off, so that suggests we will, but there's nothing stopping another caution too here, Aiden, and that's going to throw even more more guessing around the wind and everything too, because look at these guys. They've been racing fierce. The competition is fierce, and Phelps and McKenzie, they want to win, as do all these guys here. And as we've just been talking about, and you guys know more than I do when it comes to this sort of stuff, it's all about green tyres, especially here in Pocono. It's a tyre game, but there's strategies all around the park, but the lights are out, and we're going to go green, and I suppose we've got about 7 or 6 laps to go, so it's it's a guessing game still, I think.
It is. It's going to be fantastic to watch, to see the different tyre deg and the tyre wear on these cars, as opposed to, say, the likes of Ruben Phelps, Darren McKenzie, Adam Malone, when he definitely didn't take tyres, only going down pit lane for 5.92 seconds. Daniel Smith, Jason Holdsworth, all those guys. But where Daniel Beckinsale, Norman Clark and Dave Oliver wind out in all of this, just keep one eye on them at the back as we're about 7 laps to go as Ruben Phelps brings us to the green. So Ruben Phelps here for the 5th or 6th time tonight will bring us to the 5th or 6th restart, rather. Ruben Phelps for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series, and we are green here on a Friday night on the InterSim Esports Network. Once again, Ruben Phelps takes us to the green. Darren McKenzie on the outside here at Pocono as they make their way down into turn 1. Looks like Adam Malone's got a nice run on the up behind Ruben Phelps there. Looked like he's going to make that move, or at least attempt to make that move down the inside of Darren McKenzie. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to clear him through 1 as Darren McKenzie holds that line on the outside. Ruben Phelps looks in his mirror and says, "Thank you guys, keep doing that." Ruben Phelps makes his way to the lead here at Pocono. It looks like now Daniel Smith making the move up to Adam Malone. Not there, Daniel. That is very wise. It looks like cars are going to get on the wall on the outside. What a great job by all drivers. Looks like Norman Clark there with those fresher tyres is making his way forward as well. He's up into P9, so keep an eye on that 09 car, the 668 there, Dave Oliver as well, making moves last down pit lane on lap 86. So we're seeing those tyres come to fruition now, guys. We're not sure whether they have enough time, though.
Yeah, definitely. It's all going to be about their pit time and pit strategies. But these top 3 or 4 guys that we're watching now, they definitely know what they're doing. But I don't know. Look at the battles. Yeah, who knows? I reckon 92, lap 92, you'd know. But I think we'll know who wins come lap 100. But who knows? There could be another caution. But Mackenzie was my pick. But let's see if he can get the jump on Phelps.
Well, this
Norman
is
Clark
interesting. Our picks here are P2, 3 and 4. So
yeah. I was just about to say Norman Clark and Daniel Beckinsale. Look out for those two. Daniel Beckinsale up into 4th. He was last down pit lane on lap 86. It looks like he's got something under him at the moment as he's making his way forward. He's going to take that 3rd position on the inside out of 3 here at Pocono Raceway on Daniel Smith. So the Daniel on the Daniel down into turn 1 here at Pocono. Darren McKenzie and Ruben Phelps still leading their way. We'll keep that tower up. We're 95 laps in, so we have 5 laps to go. Sorry, 6 laps to go. Who was that? Adam Malone. Big lock up there into turn 1. That's not what Adam Malone needed in that Monster Energy number 4 car. So definitely didn't need that for Adam. But look at the draft down the back straight here on behind Ruben Phelps with Darren McKenzie. We've now got a 5-way battle for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like that Daniel Smith's really racy there on the inside of Darren McKenzie as they go down, and they're about to go into 3. Ruben Phelps is loving what he's seeing behind him. We have Darren McKenzie, Daniel Smith on the inside there in the 10. It looks like Daniel Beckinsale says, I'm going 3 wide. You can battle up the top all you want. I'll see you on the inside. Daniel Beckinsale now takes P2 of this motor race, Peter. Sorry, I'm getting excited. Ruben Phelps having a good drive out at the front, but Daniel Beckinsale has the speed late on in this race as we've got 5 to go.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there through, I think that was Mackenzie and Smith. But, you know, Phelps would be loving this. He'd be looking in his mirror going, haha, battle away because I'm out. But Beckinsale is in second, is in a box seat. But it's all about Mackenzie, Smith, Oliver as they trade places. And there's 4, 5 cars in this little mid-pack battle that we watch as we go into the last 4.
Catch wide. That looked like that might have been Dave Oliver, I believe. Just caught the wall there. Norman Clark still making his way forward. He's currently up into P6, so he's really fighting for that podium position at the moment. And as you can see, Darren McKenzie's the one that holds that right in front of them, in front of the pink and black car there of Daniel Smith. So there's the fight for the final place on the podium. Ruben Phelps and Daniel Beckinsale, though, at the front. Daniel Beckinsale with 4 laps to go as we're 97 laps in. I must just need to remind you, gentlemen, this was my pick, even though my teammate's the one that is leading the motor race. But Daniel Beckinsale, who's leading this championship, great job currently in 2nd position. He has 12 laps the better of everything under him at the moment. So he's definitely going to make Ruben Phelps fight hard for this one. But let's go back for the battle for the minor placings. 5th place, Norman Clark has moved up to 5th place. Hard-fought battle there with Darren McKenzie on the outside of Daniel Smith. Daniel Smith holding tough on the inside. Norman Clark saying, I want a bit of this, boys, too, as he makes it to the outside of behind Darren McKenzie. Now it looks like the Michael Budge has come to play. Oh, look out, 550. Tristan Koch goes, no, I want a part of this too. And we're going 3 wide into turn 1 at Pocono Raceway. Who's going to budge? And Tristan Koch has made his move up the inside, drops right back in behind Norman Clark. Norman Clark now up into P4, looking for the run on Darren McKenzie. Tristan Koch goes, no, you're not going anywhere, guys. I'm dropping down behind you. But now we move. We have a move for the lead of this motor race. Daniel Beckinsale up the inside of Ruben Phelps. Ruben Phelps says, no, you're not having it that easy, Daniel, but I'm going to stay on the outside. We watch him come down here into P3. Ruben Phelps is really in a bad position around P3 here to stay on the outside. But he's there. He's got good mid-corner rotation on the power early, and we are going 2 wide. Down for the lead of this motor race. We are now about to go lap 99 into 100. 2 to go, Peter and Paul. We are 2 wide for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series on the IndySim Esports Network.
Yeah, we're 2 wide at the front, almost 4 wide just at the back there, but we're riding on board with the battle and we can't leave the battle of the race. But can Phelps hold out for Beckinsale for this? Oh, there's so many. What is it? 12 laps difference in tyres, but Phelps is doing good so far. But Beckinsale, I think, is going to win the race. Lap a 99 of 100. These guys are side by side. They've been side by side for the last lap and a half, 2 laps probably. There's battles going that far behind. Look at the leaderboard. Phelps, Beckinsale,
It's
Beckinsale,
on.
Budge, Mackenzie.
Oh, there's got a wreck behind. They've all held it. No,
they've
caution.
roaded it. They've roaded
Great
it.
driving. So here's the
Awesome
battle
driving.
for the lead. We'll have to focus on this with 1 lap to go, guys. It looks like it's all happening for the minor placings at the moment, but we've got to stay on the leaders for this final lap. Ruben Phelps has really made that high line work. He can't quite clear. It looks like that Daniel Beckinsale has been very gentlemanlike. Until then, they make contact and get doored. There's the move for the motor race, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Beckinsale on the inside of Ruben Phelps. That looks like we're going to be our 1-2 as there's a massive accident in the background. And we have a car go to Saturn. I got no idea who that is, but it looks
First
like
car on the moon was from here, the
looks
Innocent Network.
like
But
as
Beckinsale, what a move, and wins the race.
great
Wow.
move. We are on the final corner here. Daniel Beckinsale is about to take the win for round 4 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. Our current points leader for the championship and your round 4 winner, Daniel Beckinsale, followed by Ruben Phelps in P2, Michael Budge in P3. Jason Holdsworth will finish up in P4, rounding out your top 5. Brad Allison, he did get involved in that incident we saw on that last lap, but still rounded out with a top 5 for Brad, so great job for him. Darren McKenzie there with a nice solid P6. Adam Malone, who had an interesting race to say the least there in P7. Daniel Smith is P8. Dean Goofall in P9, rounding out your top 10 place getters tonight for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series was Tristan Koch. So Peter and Paul, what a night of racing here on the InterSim Esports Network.
Congrats to you, Aiden. You pick of the night, driver of the night, up 3 positions. Beckinsale, your pick wins the race. So that was a good call. Ruben Phelps, Budge. Well, what a race, but 12 laps of difference. I don't think Phelps had an answer to Beckinsale come the later stages in the race.
Yeah, I don't think he did, mate. I definitely don't. I'm just trying to get Ruben down into the broadcast box at the moment. We do have the drivers up here, but yeah, definitely you could see that with Beckinsale's pit strategy coming down pit lane about 12 laps after Ruben last come down pit lane, sort of whether he took tyres. He had 12 laps better or something, as we see a replay there of a car going into orbit. But he definitely did have a quicker truck there at the back end of the race. It was going to be hard for Ruben to hold him off, but he did fight hard there for 2 or 3 laps on the outside, and he definitely didn't make it hard, didn't make it easier for Daniel, rather, but at the same time, Daniel showed a lot of respect for Ruben. So there we go again there, Peter. There are our place getters and the positions for round 4 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. We're still watching the 19 and Daniel Beckinsale at the moment doing his celebratory donuts here at Pocono, as he's just poked it into the wall, as Pocono would say. But Peter, mate, 100 laps around, or 80 laps around Pocono. Was it 100 laps? 100 laps around Pocono.
Didn't feel like it, did it?
Didn't feel like it. Long race, great to call. So many different strategies, and yeah, Daniel Beckinsale, Ruben Phelps, Michael Budge coming away with the top 3 places.
Yeah, definitely. They were awesome to watch, especially Phelps. I think he conceded at the end there. He knew he had 12 laps sort of poorer tyres on him, but he definitely did try and hold that the top line, but it wasn't to be. And Beckinsale, he comes home with the win, and he's up 3 positions, up 7 for Ruben Phelps, up 10 for Budge, up 15 for Holdsworth, up 2 for Allison, and level for my driver pick of the night, Darren McKenzie. He finishes back in, I think, 7th position. So, no, it was good to watch, Aiden, and another good Friday night here on the InterSim Network.
Yeah, 100%. What a great night it was, and always is around Pocono, next gen cars, Full Throttle, Friday night. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else but here on the InterSim Esports Network, would you? But without further ado, we do have the top 3 place getters up here in the broadcast booth, gentlemen, and we'll start off. Michael Budge, starting out of 13th position tonight, up 10 spots into P3. Good drive there, nice solid P3. I'm sure you're happy with that one.
Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, really wrapped with that. Luckily had some good tyres at the end and was able to sort of come through in those last few laps.
And what was the strategy, Michael? Obviously, sort of half the field went one way with the strategy, the other half went the other way. Yours was a little bit the same as Ruben's, I believe, and Daniel's. It was all within sort of 10 laps of each other. What was your strategy, sort of just trying to get to a full tank for the final run, or were you sort of, did you have to sort of double stint there for a little bit of fuel, or how did your race pan out?
Yeah, no, we sort of looked at the amount of tyres we had and the amount of stops we had to do, and I think it was sort of 3.5 stints on fuel. So we thought if we could double stint the tyres early and just let the race play out, we could take a short stop of fuel at the end and take our second set of tyres at the end to come home strong. And Daniel and I were sort of working that same strategy, and it seemed to pay off in the end.
Well, it definitely did, mate. You got a P3 here for round 4 at Pocono, mate, for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series. So always got to be happy with that, mate. You have run the start of this series. We're in round 4. Bit of a recap how your series has started so far. It is round 4 out of 12, I believe. So bit of a recap how your series has started so far, and see what your goals are moving into the back end of this season.
Yeah, look, first, I think like everyone, you have the odd good race or the odd bad race. You might get taken out, run out of fast repairs, or just mess up yourself. So I think I've had a couple of midfield races and a couple of bad ones, and this is the best so far. First podium in this series. So first oval series as well. Running the trucks with the Full Throttle guys, and this Friday Night Next Gen, which we're really enjoying.
Ah, well done, Michael. Congratulations on your first podium, mate, from all us at the InterSim Esports Network. Well done. Well deserved, and hopefully there's many more to come. But Peter Gretton, mate, before we move on to the formalities with Michael, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, Michael, it's congratulations on your first podium. I'm sure with that drive, mate, it's not going to be the last. But how was it out there tonight? To be honest, I didn't even know if we'd done 100 laps. What we used doing 2 every one, because it only felt like about half of it. But that's just credit to all you guys out there. But talk us through just briefly before, like Aidan said, we get into formality. What was it like to trail these guys or get past them?
It was good, like a great bunch of guys, good to race with. Hard and fair, which is all you really ask for. The double stint early seemed to take a while, when you're really just trying to stay smooth and out of trouble. And then the last half of the race, when we knew we were sort of on a reasonable strategy, definitely went quicker. I did get caught up in an accident early on with a spinning car went across my bow, and I unfortunately sort of T-boned him and had to use my fast repair, but thankfully that didn't cost me any time, and I was able to get through the rest of the race without any damage.
Takes a lot of guts too, because especially when you're doing 100 laps around here, the tricky triangle, as we were calling it, it takes a lot of guts too, just to not get caught into unfamiliar battles. You don't really need a battle. You just got to stick to what you know, I think, and I think you've done that well, and you come home third in what was a pretty heated battle towards the end, and cautions that was thrown in as well. So you done good to come home in third, mate. So yeah, it's a credit to you and your team.
Yeah, thanks guys. The last 4 or 5 laps were crazy, really enjoyable.
Well, Michael, I'll just before we'll get you to hang around just after, if you do have 5 minutes after we interview the second first place getters, just want to get your insight a little bit on the next round and where you sit in the championship. So it would be more appreciated if you can hang around for a little bit longer. But before we do let you go back and we move on to our second place getter, Michael, anyone you want to thank for your third place tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Love to thank the guys at Blendline TV for helping us out, painting all the cars up and that sort of stuff. All the boys at Full Throttle for putting on the event. and all you guys at Into Sim Esports for commentating it and hosting it for us. I always love watching the race back the next day. So thanks very much for that.
No worries. We'll be on again with you very shortly, Michael. So just hang around there. But we'll move up to our second place getter, Phelpsy, Ruben Phelps. The one that could have been, mate, P2. I'm sure you're happy with that one, but Daniel Beckinsale at the end just had a little bit too much.
Yeah, no, I was thought when we were racing there, I was like, oh, the outside lane's got the drive. If I could just stay there a wee bit, but I knew that door was coming. It just happened to be at turn one, and I think I just hesitated a wee bit, and it sort of, once we made contact, I bounced up, and that was it, and I just lost a lot of momentum. But now it was a really good race with me and Daniel side by side. I think it was like 2-3 laps there at the end.
Well, mate, you had a really good fuel strategy, and you were up there, and you were the incumbent race leaders, you and Darren McKenzie there. I bet you didn't want that final caution with about 10 and 12 to go. I'm sure you didn't want that one.
Yeah, definitely didn't want that caution, considering I was involved in an incident earlier in the race, which I had to actually pit a little bit, I think maybe 8 laps before everybody else there. So that was the way I got my track position back. So then, luckily, when I did make that last stop there, me and Darren were about a lap difference on tyres and strategy there. So we were going to end up being the leaders, because I think I worked my way up to the podium before that last set of pit stops, which helped me and Darren there. But no, well, definitely it's going to be a race between me and Darren, and yellow comes out, which changed everything. With any guy who's had a few set of tyres left, or a set of tyres left, obviously, I knew they were going to come. So I think it was, I'm not sure how many there were altogether, but at least obviously Dan and Michael there had the tyres. But no, all round, obviously there was a couple incidents early, but once the race did get green flag, it was fun.
Well, P2, mate, nothing to shy about for round 4 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series. You've been in a couple of rounds, had some solid results. So a good P2. But Peter, mate, jump in, have a chat to Ruben, mate, before we get on to the formalities and move on to our winner.
Yeah, Phelps, it's Pete here, mate. Hey, I was just thinking there with, I think there was about 12 or 14 laps different in your pit strategy to a race winner of Beckinsale, and we'll get to him shortly. But with that sort of difference in pit strategies, were you thinking more of a late caution, or do you just sort of go, okay, this is my strategy and I'm sticking with it?
Well, I was thinking, because the field had spread out, had managed to spread out in that last stint, or that last run before that yellow there, I thought, no, there's probably not likely to be a caution. Of course, you still got to have that, have that thought process of knowing there could be a potential late caution, because, sometimes obviously with the pit stops, there's always that room for error for someone spinning while coming in the pits, and anybody can do it. So it's you got to always have it in the back of your mind. Luckily with these cars, the tyre wear isn't such a major drop off compared to some of the other series, but when it comes to drive off the corners, the tyres still definitely make a difference. So but yeah, I really didn't want that caution, because I think it was either going to be me and Darren, because obviously Adam, I have to actually give a shout out to Adam there, for he was actually very strong tonight. He just was leading actually majority of the race there, but unfortunately with a bit of a strategy situation, he probably had that pit early and had another pit stop to do. But it was definitely, the race was between me and Darren and Adam for majority of it. Of course, you got to always rule out everybody else in the field too. So, but now it's a good race, and happy with P2.
Well, mate, I'm actually over the moon. P2, another podium for Aussie Esports. So happy with that one. I'll let you do your shout outs now. To everyone you want to make a shout out to, I'll shout out to your mum for you, because you do that every stream. So, mate, big shout outs, and yeah, anyone you want to thank for tonight.
Of course, you know who I'm going to say. You know exactly who I'm going to say hi to again, and you've just mentioned her. So, hi, Mum, if you're watching. She actually might be asleep because I know she's got work in the morning, but she usually does sit up as late as possible to watch it. But, of course, shout out to Mum. Of course, shout out to our team, me and Aiden, Aussie Esports. You can find them on Facebook. Of course, InterSim for the broadcast. Of course, my teammate Paul Jackson do the commentary, and Full Throttle for hosting the event.
No worries, mate. Well, nice solid P2, and look forward to seeing you next Friday night for round 5 around Michigan. We'll just get you to hold on for 1 second if you can, mate. We'll be back to you. But moving straight on to the man of the moment, P1 tonight, Dan Beckinsale in the 19 car, mate. Pitted with 12 laps to go. 14 laps to go, lap 86, I believe. Definitely right strategy. Obviously had tyres up your sleeve there, and very good timing to be able to take the win.
Yeah, no, thanks, guys. Yeah, just sort of was actually playing into probably a top 5. I think when we first went back to green after those couple of stop starts on about lap 20 or something, I just got caught up behind a few people and couldn't make the runs I wanted to make, and ended up dropping away from the leading pack. So that turned it into save tyres for the end of the race, and kind of hoped there was a safety car. We were also, kind of keen for it not to, because you want to know what your pace is, with full green flag running. But took the tyres, and then, I think it was a lap later, the safety car came out. Something happened to Shorey, a bit of an unfortunate one. So, yeah.
Well, mate, nice solid effort. You came into round 4 leading the championship, and after a P1 tonight, and I do need to tell you, if you watch the broadcast back, you were my pick.
Oh, excellent. Look at that.
Came into the round 4 tonight, and you were my pick, yet you weren't my teammate, so get that. But anyway,
Ruben's going to have more words to you now, isn't he?
I know you came into the round 4 tonight leading the championship, as Ruben just pipes up in the background. But you went away from this one definitely leading the championship, so you'd have to be pretty confident going into next week.
Yeah, I mean, every week there's the possibility for anything to happen. Like the guys in the league are brilliant to race against, and I think, racing with Ruben in the last couple of laps there, especially, I felt like there was a lot of respect given both ways. Unfortunately, I just tyres got hot pushing so hard to try to get past him, because I knew I just needed to try to get it done straight away, and slid up a little bit there on the last lap and just made unfortunate contact, which is one of those things. But I'm sure I'll be on the other end of it at some point as well, so we'll race hard and fair to every finish. But yeah, looking forward now to the rest of the season, hoping that we can stay up the top. It's going to be tough. You have a bad round and you could well be out of it, so just going to try to minimize the mistakes and hopefully not have to use any of those fast repairs or things.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Nice win. But Peter, I will hand it over to you. Have a chat with Daniel, mate, before we do the formalities with him. I'll have a chat to the boys after that as well about what we move on, look forward to in the Full Throttle Next Gen series, and also what we have coming up for you here on the InterSim Esports Network. But Peter, I'll leave it over to you.
Yeah, boys, just I throw it open to the top 3, and well, what a night it was, and we didn't know who was going to win until you crossed the line, Beckinsale. But as Aiden pointed out, he was your pick, or you were his pick rather, and you probably, I don't know, I didn't think you were going to win it until probably the last 4 or 5 laps. What do you think when the cautions come out? Just let's go to the leader, Beckinsale.
Oh, I think, like I said before at Talladega, you go like there's no tomorrow. Once that last checkered yellow flag comes out, you just got to put the head down and, try to do it. Not make any contact or do anything unfair, but you've got to use that advantage while you got it. And tonight was a case in point. I knew if I didn't get to Ruben and try to just get past him, I'd have no hope, because my tyres would drop. After you've done those first 5 or 6 laps, they tended to drop into where you could stay at a consistent rhythm. And I think Ruben was just trying to get to that point, and probably another lap or 2 we would have been there. So it's just one of those things. If you just think about throwing it all to the wall and seeing what sticks.
Well, Daniel, I'll jump in quickly, mate. We'll let you thank everyone you want to thank before we move on and quickly cover off on what we've got coming up next week here on the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series. So anyone you want to have a shout out to?
Big shout out to Mrs. Duffy Racing, big supporter, the Duffys, of looking after us here with the bin chicanes. Also, all the boys, we race a lot together. Probably a lot of people think we're a really big team who is all a well-oiled machine, but most of us are just out to have a bit of fun and a race together, and really loving Shory's league and enjoying the Full Throttle, nights. And thanks to you guys as well for the broadcast. It comes up, brilliantly to watch back later, and people have been tuning in and enjoying watching us race, which is always good fun.
Awesome stuff, mate. Well, we got you quickly. We head to the Brickyard next Friday night for the 250 at the Brickyard. One of my favourite tracks, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. How's that fare for you?
Hopefully well. I got the win in the trucks earlier in the truck season there. Managed to pick up one race, but that was, again, one of those ones of plagued by yellows, and we just pulled the right strategy kind of out of the bag. It's one of those ones, it's kind of, I think, a bit like this track. You've got a couple of laps where you have really good pace, but if you can settle into a rhythm, you'll be able to get to the end, and you just got to watch that, turn 1 and turn 4 really, and make sure you don't make the walls. So it's all about being there for that last 10 laps, especially in this league. And, hopefully I'll be fighting Rubens again for the win, and we'll see how we go.
And as Dan mentioning your name, Ruben, Indianapolis next week, round 5. I know you like Indianapolis as much as I do. I'm sure you're looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah, that's I could have had a potential podium last week until that last incident that happened there, and a podium this week, so I can only go one better.
That's it, mate. And Michael Budge, your thoughts on Indianapolis next Friday night?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Can't wait. Bring it on.
No worries. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The top 3 of the night tonight here from Pocono for 100 laps on the IndySim Esports Network. We had Daniel Beckinsale taking the lead, followed by Ruben Phelps and Michael Budge. Paul and Peter, what a great night's racing. Now's the time we could possibly bring up those unofficial championship points if we do have those at hand. So we might be able to bring those up on screen, ladies and gentlemen. If we just wait a second, there we go. They come up in front of us. So we'll just wait. We think that this needs to refresh. And there we go. It's refreshed. So currently leading the championship, your winner tonight, Daniel Beckinsale, up top there with 142 points, now extending his championship lead to 11 points over second place, Jason Holdsworth, who tonight, I believe, finished in P4. Dean Guilfoyle there up into P3, just 2 points behind Jason Holdsworth there on 129 points. Andy J. Barber with a tough night at the office tonight has dropped back to P4 after leading the championship after the first 2 rounds there on 112 points. Tied on points there in P5 is Dave Oliver. Tristan Koch in P6 there on 111. Norman Clark 7th with 110 points. Michael Budge, who is your third place getter tonight, has moved his way up into the 8th position on 104 points. Demetrius Agathos, after what was such a good, strong start to the night, didn't finish off that well in 9th spot with 95 points. And rounding out your top 10 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series after round 4 here at Pocono Raceway is Michael Shaw from Activity Hub Barley Racing on 89 points. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the championship points roll on and on, feel free to scroll or watch the scroll and find your favorite driver on points here on the Full Throttle Friday NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series. But before we wrap up the broadcast, gentlemen, Paul and Peter, one highlight of tonight, if you had one, what would it be?
Well, I'll take this one to start with so I can get a bit of a word in. But I think tonight, Pocono usually don't see too much door-to-door action and two-lane running in the Cup Series. So to see that tonight was pretty good in the next gen cars. I think everyone just done a pretty good job out there tonight. Also the strategy, I think, if I might add a second note, the strategy on pit stops was a really interesting one tonight.
And Peter?
Yep. Okay. So I'm out of left field, as everyone knows. I'm definitely out of left field. My moment of the night was the call. I reckon Aiden and myself, we've done a pretty good job, and PJ with the cameras. So yeah, that's I love every minute of it. But watching these guys race around every Friday night, mate. I'll be a guest whenever you want me to. But the whole night for me was a highlight. So let's go with that.
Yeah, good call, mate. It was a good night racing here on the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series, and my favourite part of the night had to be Daniel Beckinsale sending it 3 wide up the inside of turn 3 here at Pocono, fighting his way back in to take the lead of this motor race. But Paul and Peter, mates, thank you so much again for joining me and making this available here to all the viewers on the InterSim Esports Network here on a Friday night. Tonight, we brought you round 4 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series here from Pocono Raceway. You will see us here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, on Sunday night from 7:30 p.m. approximately, as we broadcast the next installment of the Australasian Supercar E-Series, rather, from Daytona International, I believe. So jump on to all our social media pages and get amongst that and get ready for some Supercar Oval action on Sunday night. But tonight we had Daniel Beckinsale, Ruben Phelps, and Michael Budge round out your top 3 place getters here on the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series on the InterSim Esports Network. Big shout out again to the Cube Retro Radio for jumping on and being a part of this series. Get amongst it and get and support them through all their socials as well, because without them, we don't go iRacing. But Paul and Peter and everyone tuning in here on the InterSim Esports Network on a Friday night, we thank you so much and look forward to seeing you tune in here on 7:30 p.m. on Sunday night for the Australasian Supercar E-Series from Paul, Peter, and myself. Thank you for tuning in, and we wish you a good night.